Hold on for a second. Now, I know it's not raining outside, but let me check real quick. Hold on. Uh-oh. 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 So look. So when the rain drops, oh yeah, when the raindrops fall from the sky, we have our fellow Canadian. All right. Miss She Stole My Thunder. Thank you for tuning in. She Stole My Thunder. She says she's here to support with her blessings, and she will be listening in the background. I know she's probably, vibing to the song, to my little tune, but anyways, thank you. She Stole My Thunder. And she says, it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. Yes. Old man snores very, very loud. Okay. But
because he worked his whole life.
What you say, Stan?
He worked his whole life. All his life he had to work.
work.
Let him don't kill him, ladies. Let him snore.
Oh man, this was a good start, man. So salute to She Stole My Thunder for being the first to comment for tonight. Welcome to our podcast. Can you spare some change? With your host, your boy M3. Make sure you get your minds right. And the homie Stan Joseph Lee Thompson Gibson. However you want to add to his last name, okay? But anyways, yeah, so we're chilling in this podcast. And, the title is, Do You Cry? And if so, why? Okay? Now, again, we try to make this cater for men and men's mental health, and we're hoping that we could get some men to, come to the panel. Ladies, feel free to still give your supports, in the chats, and maybe somewhere down the line we'll probably open up for the women as well too. But I want to get the men's.
Can I say something about that? If we open up for the women, please, ladies, understand this is for men's mental health. Please do not come in and says women too. Don't shut down the men. Let the men talk. Just come in and just listen. That's all we're asking you to do is just listen.
I'm just asking you guys to please, ladies, help us to be our peace. If you ladies decide to still come up, I'll drop the link in the chat or whatever, but I just need you guys to do 3 simple things, okay? 1, I need you ladies to be nice to us. Just please be nice. All right? That's all we ask. Okay, 2, if you guys do come up, please, I only ask if you ladies could give us your full cooperation. Not so hard, right? Not too bad. Just corroborate and follow the rules. And then 3, the most important rule of them all, that's very essential. Okay? Especially when another fellow man is talking or anybody that's talking, I need you to be quiet. Okay? We don't need no interruptions. We don't need to be like, oh, we go through this whole stuff the whole time, okay? No. We don't need all that. We just need love and peace. Kudos to Lola for tuning in. Thank you. She says, Idris, okay, I will always listen to you. All right? And make sure you guys and ladies too give a like for the general knowledge from relationships, and also share like the videos to your friends and family as well. So again, let's go ahead. We're gonna get this started. And salutes to the people who are tuning into the Instagram chat. So salutes to everybody for doing that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Right. All right. So, let me send out the Instagram link. I mean, the StreamYard link. Close this out. So hold on. MacBook Pro took me out of the screen. Come on, Matt. Get it together. All right, here we go. All right. So everybody, feel free to join in. Again, we don't discriminate. We just want to make sure that this is for men's mental health. But we do invite you guys for tonight to please participate as well. Anyways, and maybe that will probably bring more men into the panel. Anyway, so all right, so discussing the reasons behind crying and its emotional significance that can lead to profound insights to human behavior and mental health. So here are some thought-provoking questions related to the topic. Do you cry and why? And the reason why it's important to talk about this is because, for years, traditionally, modernly, okay, men has always been taught that it is very weak to cry. But then you have some people that will contest to this. You have some that will attest to it. Okay? Meaning they'll agree, and you have some that will disagree. Most of the time, women will be the nurturing kind that will say, hey, you should be able to let down your emotions and cry. But the moment the man decides to cry, what is he labeled as, Mr. Stan?
What she labeled him as? He's weak. He's a punk.
Oh.
He's soft.
Oh.
I'm dry. That's
I can't believe you said that.
Right now. It could be, sadly, it could be the most, and also they make it about them, which is what I've noticed too. Like if someone passed away, are you gonna, how can you cry about your homeboy? I've been here with you more than him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa, he can't cry about somebody he grew up with? Or
see, right then, go ahead.
Or if his mother passed away and stop being a mama's boy, I'm like, whoa, his mom passed away. How can you be on the, it's
the relationship
side, right? Of you don't want to, if it's something that's you never seen him like this before, and it's okay, but not attack somebody while they're hurting. To me, that's weird. When you do that. But it seems to be a normal thing that goes on in our community, in the Black community.
Yeah, that is very, very weird to me, Stan, when if those conversations are ending like that, especially while you're having your emotional time to grieve, that to me, I had to tell you this, man. That to me is telling me that it's obviously that you should not continue this relationship or partnership with this person, with that significant other. And then I will ask, well, why are you still in that relationship with that individual when she cannot become your safe haven? I'm not saying all cannot become your safe haven, but we're just talking about the ones that will shut you down. But then here's the other caveat too that's also sad. You also have other men that will look at you like you're weak and they'll tell you to man up. You know, they may, have some jokes to try to cheer you up, but the whole method is to pretty much break you from that type of shell where you're about to display some type of vulnerability and emotion, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And also the other thing that's worse than that for men, like when men like religion backgrounds, when they come in and read you about that scripture of the Israel people who had 30 days after Moses died. Don't read that. Please don't read me that. Unless you want to be one of those people that I'm not going to cry for after 30 days. Don't read me scriptures. That's heartless. I'm going to share that with a lot of people. Reading somebody's scriptures and telling them about the time that you're not a therapist. That's heartless. And that's heartless when somebody want to go ahead and read scriptures to control your own emotions. That's not normal. Somebody's going through loss, and there's stages to loss that last beyond 30 days.
Yeah. Let me give a warm salute to Mr. Dragonfly. Thank you for tuning in, Mr. Dragonfly, Jones' cousin. And if you would like to come up, Lola, feel free to come up as well too. The link is pinned to the top on Knowledge Relationships, but if you're watching from other platforms, I'll try to send a link again for anybody else to come up to the panel, because I do want to get your thoughts about this, and it's definitely important this time, like, to get even like both perspectives on this, so we could break it down together as a unit and really break down the psyche of why this is happening in society. And also we're going to get down to, like, because most men are not afraid to cry, or let's just say, maybe, I don't want to say like most women, the same for most women, because to me, in my perception, I feel like, well, I think that there's more of a support group with you guys. Even though I do say women don't like each other. However, like, we're not gonna, like, judge a woman if she's crying. You know what I mean? As heavy that we'll judge a man. So again, this is like, this podcast is for, like, mental health for men, but we still open other people to come up as well. So Dragonfly, if you could come up, let me know. He says, salute, Knowledge Relationships. I can't see you, but salute to you nonetheless. Okay, no problem, bro. I'm glad that you're tuning in and listening. So much appreciated. So I'm going to get to the first question. What situations or emotions typically trigger your tears, and how do you feel afterward? And this goes for anybody in the chat, and for Stan, even for myself, if I could think of something.
Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. Hopefully this is a safe place. I recently gone through a loss, gone through a lot of loss the past couple of months, and I, only cried at the funeral a little bit, and luckily my cousins was there. That was helpful. But other than that, I keep things to myself, and like, I get sad, but I got, like, I got a brother that depends on me. I got, like, kids, like, so it's not like something I could dwell on. And so I'm learning to, like, manage that. And I know it's normal. The person that helps to normalize crying for men I've seen, for me, and I'm going to use pop culture, would be The Flash. Barry. And that's 10 years, right? 10 years of Barry crying. but it's only because he's overwhelmed and he don't know where to go, and he had those group of people he can talk to, right? And it's like, even though I don't have those group of people, I learned to be that person that people could talk to. It just saddens me that a lot of people can't talk to other people and they keep things inside. And the saddest part for men, that when you keep holding it inside, a lot of us just disappear. And that's the sad part. Like when we shut down and we're disappearing and people don't hear about this person unless that person cracked or that person also passed away. And it's a sad thing that men can't grieve.
Man, I appreciate you for sharing that, Stan. Lola, before I get to you real quick, no worries, Dragonfly. I know, like, there's always gonna be other times, but thank you for tuning in. And yes, like, I am the man myself, like, but I go by M3, and Knowledge Relationships is basically like just like a parent channel. Right now, we are streaming on multiple live streams. We're streaming from the Intellectual Soapbox, the stream that started all knowledge and relationships itself, and other platforms as well too. But no matter what, thank you guys for still tuning in. And if you guys have not subscribed to Knowledge Relationships, please do subscribe, and also subscribe to the Intellectual Soapbox as well. Lola, go ahead. Good to see you up here.
Good evening, gentlemen. I am happy to be here with you tonight. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. As always, Idris, like I said, I will always listen to you and give you the first and last word. M3, you know I'm working on my femininity, okay? So I will just say, I will say this. I think we have progressed and regressed as a culture. I personally do not know any women who have overtly said things like to a man in a moment of grief and loss that, you shouldn't be crying, stuff like that. I don't know any women personally, but I do know it happens. So I do feel that, in a sense, as a culture, we have gotten to a point where men are equal to women, and they are allowed to express their emotions in a way that's healthy for them, while at the same time, some of us are still holding on to tradition, and we're trying to hold up these ideals that represent masculinity, when in fact, we're kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's like masculinity is not about not being able to express your emotions. It's not feminine to, have an emotional moment. That's not what that is. Truth be told, emotions are for you to have an experience, and they inform you of what's going on. Because truth is, nobody, male or female, are their emotions. Emotions are something you have, so it's okay. But I will admit that there are some bitter Bettys out there that will use vulnerability to their advantage. But keep in mind, the reasoning is because they're already bitter, and they just, I guess, misery likes company. But I know for me, if I ever witnessed a woman or man, but primarily in this case, a woman acting like that, it would be incumbent upon me to say something, like in the moment too. And it better not be one of my sons. Like it better not be. I'm just letting people know that out the gate right now. But I do agree that everyone should be allowed to grieve without someone else basically being a pain in the ass. Truth be told. So, this is where I do feel that men are equal to women in terms of, just what they need and what they should be allowed to do. Now, I'm not saying that men should be allowed to cry every single day and not go to work and sit on the couch and be depressed and seep into oblivion. I'm not saying that. But there are moments where it's necessary for men to cry. It's necessary. Like, I know Some men never cry. They never want to face loss. Like some men don't go to funerals because they can't deal with loss. These are moments where they have to face these things and they have to allow themselves to feel. And in order to do that, they need a support system. And women tend to be that support system. But it's like in 2024, I think there's less women that are trusted to be that support system. So men just don't trust women to be that support system. But I'll be honest with you, even though a lot of men don't trust even myself, right? I still try to be that support system, to encourage people to, grieve, to, allow themselves to feel, to not see it as being weak or feminine, because it's really not. And, just to be comfortable, at least around myself. Now, I'm just one person, so it might not make any much difference, but I try my best.
I like what you're saying, Lola. Like, it's definitely fair and balanced. But let's say an example, because we know the reality of the world, and we know that people will heavily judge. Whether you're a man or woman, they're going to judge you based off your vulnerability and your openness. Now, if you could think, okay, what will be a right time or a right place for a man or a woman to cry?
The right time and place is just when the body feels the need to do it. That's the right time and the right place. That's the natural time and the right place to do it. However, socially, if you're conservative, that if you feel like you want to bawl out crying, you might not want to do that in front of a crowd of people that don't know you per se, right? Like, or something like that. You know what I mean? That is certain things like that. But I believe that the right time is when you feel like you need to, period. I can't say the right time is always in your bedroom or at night or, something like that. I don't believe that. I feel like the right time is the time it happens.
Okay. I appreciate that, Lola. And that's fair. Salute to Evolution. Thank you for tuning in. Evolution, if you want to come up, feel free to come up. Uncle Fatty, salutes to you. This person says, there's no wrong feelings, no wrong emotions, only wrong ways of dealing with them. Only wrong ways of dealing with them. Okay. Stay cognitively aware. We are acting with intent and reacting to triggers. Grief is as natural as tears.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that excuse me. And that's powerful because, our emotions, no matter how we would like to try to use the society card, and men supposed to be stoic and we're supposed to be emotionless, we were still born with these feelings. When we was born as babies, all we did was just cry. And that was socially acceptable and understandable. But of course, as you grow, you get older and you're facing adversity, especially maybe like in elementary school or maybe in your community going up. And then that's when you're taught by your family or whatever close relatives that, hey, if you're a man, don't soften up. Don't show those tears. Don't cry when you fight. Otherwise, Stan, they'll give us something to cry about.
Or no, it's different. It's more like, hey, I want you to cry so that you don't lose your light. And take that weapon that you feel and turn it. Well, take the feeling that you feel, take the emotions you feel and turn it into a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah.
that's what. Oh, I'm sorry, Lola. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that that's totally true. The expectation is for you to take your tears and your emotions and turn it into something else. And I'm not saying totally that that can't be done, but the general consensus for men is exactly what you said.
Yeah, because I want men to cry. Like I tell men cry. I tell my kids go ahead and cry. There's nothing wrong with crying. Now let's take it and shape it into something. And it could be a weapon, it could be a tool. But it's the same thing with fighting, right? You might feel tired and upset. But also there's something called perseverance. And that's why I never want people to feel like they have to hold it. If you're crying, that's your body way of saying, I'm about to do something I don't want to, but I need to, right? It's perseverance. And a lot of times people misconstrue tears as weakness, and it's not. If I see somebody crying, I'm expecting the wave about to come in. And that person that provoked that person, I'm like, yo, you better run. Because it ain't going to be pretty. You better run for your life. Because be fearful of the person that's crying.
Well, like Evolution said, in terms of crying in the dark, right? I do believe as adults we can't be too open with when we decide to express ourselves, right? Because it's not just crying. Because I know for me, like if there's a traumatic circumstance happening, right, I might feel like expressing my fears or tears or whatever. But I know if my children are in danger, that is absolutely like the wrong time to do that. I have to press forward. So I do believe that there is some level of choosing of when to express oneself. But generally speaking, if that's not the case, it's like I don't believe that we should be regulating people's feelings. But like the last comment, we should as individuals regulate how we respond to things. And each and every one of us knows best how best to do that in terms of what's appropriate, right? I'll say I took a trip to New York over the weekend, the other day, for a cage fight. And sometimes I go to those to support different people at the dojo that I attend. And there was a guy there that had been training kind of alongside us, not that long, and he was in one of the fights, and he was in line. And I was, congratulating him for being at the fight, but I could tell he was extremely nervous. And this was his first fight. And so he was telling me, that, he just feels nervous. I could tell he felt fearful. And there were other people around saying, man, you scared? Why you scared? Now, mind you, there's ambulance on the side because you could really lose your life out here. And people were telling him, why are you scared? But being the only female around, okay, I felt the need to tell him, hey, do your best. You're going to be okay. Think about it a different way. It's okay to be scared, but think about it a different way because you're here because you belong here, So, but all the other men just didn't have any time to, I don't want to say console him, but to just not tell him, hey, man, you're a bitch for being scared. Like, you know what I mean? But I kind of pardon that because this is an environment, it's a fighting environment. Typically, men act a certain way when they're at boxing fights and stuff like that. But this was actually MMA cage fighting. But it was just different. So I got a chance in that moment to see the vast difference between how men and women deal with grief, because obviously every one of them understand what being scared is, but I seem to be the only one that had emotional intelligence in the moment. But it's okay. But it's one of those things that culturally we have to kind of understand and temper, because I don't want to tell men, stop telling each other to man up, because men need each other to do that. But I also don't want to foster people, male or female, basically, washing each other of their humanism and whatnot. Like, so it's a delicate balance. But I will admit that I think, where we're at right now is we're somewhere between traditionalism and new ageism, and there's no real middle ground.
Yeah, okay. And I'm glad that you hold on. Salute to Smitty. Thank you for tuning in. Respect.
What's up? What's going on?
Yeah, not too much, man. Before I get to you, Smitty, in my response to you, Lola, like, that was definitely like a good story that you shared. And you was definitely at the right time just to be able to like just give them that push. Like there's gonna be times where men gonna need that type of push where it's like, hey, like don't even trip, do the best that you can, and then you're gonna have some men that's gonna like, some people that's gonna tell them, hey, we're gonna need you to toughen up, so you could do this thing, so you could be your best. But I think when it gets too excessive, that's when we have these problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely the excessive part.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Smitty, what's up, man? And salute, Mr. Best.
Feels good, baby.
All right. No, salute to everybody. You know what I'm saying? M3, Stan, Lola. All right. What are we exactly all the way talking about? Just kind of give me a little, because I was like in and out. Like I kept it running, but I've been on the phone.
Yeah. All right. So the main theme is basically, do you cry? And if so, why? And one of my questions, and this is my next question, is like, how do societal norms and gender stereotypes influence your willingness to cry or show emotions openly? As long as he doesn't cry.
Do I cry? I mean, the Messiah, the son of Mary, wept. So who am I? So look, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do people weep? Yeah, of course. Again, like anything, I believe, or at least for a man, I believe that crying for a man should be like using the restroom. Go off and do that to yourself. Don't just whip out and start pissing and shitting everywhere. That's not cool. So the way I look at like the whole, I guess you can say, weeping aspect of it, yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm personally deterred from it, it's a lot deeper than just, I guess you could say, the embarrassment of having an ugly face with snot and shit coming down your face. All right. Okay. Nah, the way I look at it is more so it's a survival protection thing. There are people around and under me, as far as like maybe women in my life and everything else, who depend on my protection. By all means necessary, I need to safeguard image-wise and everything else as much as possible. Me as a man, from personal experience of actually witnessing, okay, when you get the boo-hooing in front of people, that's like blood in the ocean. That's a couple of drops that now the sharks smell. So when they gather around and start circling for the lunch or the meal, I mean, don't be surprised. So my whole thing is more so, I know what comes behind that. They're going to devour you. You're going to be engulfed. You're going to be swallowed alive. So I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
Thank you, Smitty. Respect. Mr. Best, what's your thoughts? Excuse me.
You already know my thoughts on it, man. I always say people can express whatever emotions they want.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody grown. You express when you want. I don't pay nobody bills. I don't tell people to do it if I don't pay their bills. Mm-hmm. That's just my number one rule. I don't take you if I don't pay your bills. I told my brother I'm gonna stop using bad language. Scholar, this is for you. I'm not gonna use bad language, bro. I promise. But I wish somebody would tell me how to express my emotion, man. I really wish they would. because ain't nobody been paying these bills. Ain't nobody been dealing with these doctor visits. Ain't nobody been going through the stuff I've been going through. So I wish somebody would. I wish somebody would. You know what I mean? I really, really wish somebody would. Because it ain't gonna be a good conversation. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say what I want and do what I want. And that's just really it. And ain't nobody do nothing about it.
I like that. Keep going.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, I always tell y'all, man, look, you know, my old man is 6'4", 300 solid muscle. And even he, you know what I mean, don't tell me what to do. If you think somebody else gonna be out here telling me what to do or how to move, people must have really lost their mind. I know I have a really cool temperament, but please don't let that fool you. You know what I mean? Like, please. Salute to everybody in the comments. I see all y'all. And salute to Evolution. What's going on, Evolution? Salute to Uncle Fatty. What's going on? Salute to Twin. I see you, girl. What up? And salute to On the Spot Live. Hey, On the Spot Live. And congratulations on the Spot Live, too. I see you hit a landmark, too, on your social media. Also, salute to the homie Dragonfly Jones' cousin. I see you, homie. What up? You know what I mean? Salute to everybody, man. But yeah, that's all I got to say. I'm good.
Okay, no problem.
I had the question about what about the feasibility of men in men's circles, whatever circle that may be, having times where they allow each other to cry and then times when they don't, and regulating that in terms of balance. Because I know as a woman, I can allow a man to, express himself all day long, but as a woman, he can't find but so much solace in me because, firstly, I'm a woman. There's a certain level of masculinity that I expect from him, and that masculinity it incorporates him expressing his emotions, but to a degree, not like it would be if he was talking to another man. Because obviously I'm not a man. I don't understand what men go through per se, but is the line when it comes to men supporting each other in that way? Because I mean, at some point, this is a man's conversation.
Hold on for 1 second, okay? On the Spot Live, if you could hear me, please feel free to come up. I would love to, for you to come and hear your perspective. The theme for tonight is do you cry, and if so, why? And of course, mostly this topic is about for men, but this applies to anyone else as well too. So if you're listening, please come through. And Quantum and everyone else too that's tuning in, if you guys want to come up, I did post the link a couple of times. The link is pinned on the Knowledge Relationship side. And Mr. Best, if you could pin the link on your channel as well too, that would probably be helpful for the new people that tune in as well. Okay.
But the reason why I'm saying that is because men tend to have one switch when it comes to this. Tend to, not to say always, but men tend to have one switch, which is we can come together in a sense and talk and share, but the minute it drifts into expressing emotions and having to support each other's emotions.
Say that last part again. You said it sounded like you cut off, Lola.
I was saying that when men have to express their feelings and emotions to each other, this is where men tend to fall off, and they tend to say, hey, keep that someplace else, man up, suck it up, whatever the case may be. And this is between men. So are we saying that it's just a woman's position in life to support a man emotionally, or is it also other men's position to support men emotionally?
So basically, are we responsible to help support our own brother when he's going through his emotions? That's a good question. Right. Stan, what you think?
Yes. Can't go to every man. That's number one. For us men, like once I found out you one of those type of brothers that's trying to take my weakness into you trying to take my kindness for weakness, I'll cut you out. That's it. It's over with. Luckily for me, I have guys I can talk to, older guys and peers that I can talk to what's going on. And you know, that's very helpful because it just helps me more to know like I'm not by myself. And I also got some friends I'm just there for because there's a lot of my friends that's going through divorce right now, and it's scary for them because they didn't think they'll be at that place where they'll have a divorce, and for me, I haven't been married before, so I just listen and ask them what they need me to do, and I just check in with them regularly, and then that's it. That's as far as I can go because I don't know exactly what they've gone through, what's going on, but I just try to be supportive. And to answer your question, Lola, I mean, when I was younger, I always thought that, you know, I will meet my Gina or my Whitley in my life and be able to just like lay on her lap and just relax, right? But that's not how it turns out in those relationships. It was kind of like, I don't need to see you sad. I just need you to hurry up and take care of this. And that's where it's just like, oh, you know, the fantasy is dead. And I just know that in my fault, like I just shut down a lot of times. I just shut down, keep quiet, and move forward.
No.
Being shut down is definitely like a big thing that I see like a lot for men. Like when I came up on the space, you know, a lot of ideologies that get flown around can easily get cut off when it's in a disagreeable moment. And no matter how a person can articulate it into like their own words to try to make sense for other people to understand, it gets flown out. Because once you already have a set judgment, you're going to react based off of how you're already judging that person, how you already judging that man or woman or whatever. But in this case, I see that mostly like, you know, with men that's been going through. And then what we do, we just stop talking and be quiet. Because then is our thoughts, and I'm going to tell you, ladies, our thoughts is mostly like, dang, I don't want to argue with this lady because now I'm going to feel trapped in being in a feminine position. Or I'm going to get judged by being a feminine man, and I'm not in my masculine. Like an example, something small. Like I was probably like, you know, just doing like a practice run or whatever, and one of my I'm just gonna say one of my associates, she was like, you know, timing me and all that, and she said I missed a couple of things during my test. And I told her, well, you know, this is not what's based off the paper. And, you know, I called this and I called that. And I'm for sure I called it. And right there, that one was like, no, you did not, right? Like, I was there. I watched you. I heard you. I saw you. I was like, oh. You know, of course, like, you know, I like to give the pushback. But I realized I was like, okay, you know, let me shut up right before, you know, this escalates. Like I said, it was no big deal, whatever. But sometimes, you know, I feel like in comparison to what I see on the panels, a lot of things escalate because people want to get their talking points or they want to get their answers out, but they're always being shut down. And then that's where it leads to people being bitter by the end of the live streams.
Hey, can I ask something to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Lola, I'll give you a male example of this, right? So I used to be part of this organization and it has like the men's group, right? And let's say my experience in this men's group is not positive, right? And I've learned to get away from the group. I just got invited to like another church men's group, I want no part of it. And that's what it looks like for me. Like, I don't want to be around a bunch of guys. I don't even care what's going on. I just can't make no more new friends. Because I already did that. I was shut down with like, here's a scripture, go take a walk and pray, BS. And so now what it looks like for me, when I go through something, I really don't want to hear scriptures. I don't want to hear anything about a God. And I don't want to be around a bunch of quote unquote spiritual men. I just can't do it. So I'm shut down now. Like, it's just, 12 years of that, I'm shut down. Like, I can't do it no more.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Stand up, brought up the church, man. Goddamn.
No, it was like two perspectives, right? We're talking about how women affect men and also how men affect other men. Because also, it's like a whole bunch of other men in that group are also shut down. They shut off. We can't go back to a group. Like, we don't care for a support group. Like, it doesn't, even if it's something where like AAA, right? Alcoholic Anonymous, you don't want to go anymore. Because of what already been happening. You don't want to be vulnerable because you're already vulnerable. It requires you to be vulnerable. Somebody went ahead and took your vulnerability and threw it in front of your face, and then nobody regulated it. You're okay, fine. If this is space you're doing, so let me take myself out this space. Let me find my own support group, and I'm not going to any other function. Like, it's not going to happen to me again. It just, I know,
I respect where you're coming from because the ones who personally know you, including myself, we went through that experience, and it's funny. I'm gonna just tell a short story because something reminded me when Mr. Best said in there, says he wasn't gonna try to curse or whatever, and lately, like, I've been trying to, sometimes keep it PG-13 or whatever lately. Try to tone down my vernaculars, but when it comes to religion and certain groups, I know it's been hard for me to, like, whenever I hear anything that's about Bible related or scriptures or, people talk about Jesus or whatever, like, the part that triggers me is basically what goes back into how people will weaponize the Bible to use that to make you look foolish and stupid. And I never liked it that, so for at least a good 3 years, I was pretty much like Christian, even though I came from a Christian background. Now lately, like, I've been getting back into it somewhat or whatever, but I still go through my struggles because of my PTSD moments. You know what I mean? So I get you, and it's due to a lack of having a poor management in the system where it's like, okay, you're supposed to be my brother's keeper. Same thing for me. But then it's like, how can we actually hold each other accountable or embrace each other with love, which salutes to embrace the grace, no pun intended. But again, when we don't have that type of love and that bond with each other, and we're always focused on tearing each other down, then that's what's going to happen. And when we get shut down, we don't come back. Smitty, what's your thoughts?
All right, so I was saying in reference to what Lola's talking about, like, all right, so what I personally have examined is you got like two types of dudes. And when you're talking about the way like guys express themselves, so you either have the one type of guys who they have so much pent up. You got some people who come here and there is so much built up in them, and instead of using this, like I've said before, as a place to maybe, network, build some healthier relationships, and just join the panel, join the discussion, don't have any real expectations, and just let shit flow. A lot of guys don't have that capacity and capability simply because it's like finally a stage where I can let the world know how fucking crushed I am. So they'll get up on panels, and what'll happen is they'll clash with people who actually may have, nice little tip of some joy in their life. Those of us who may not wake up really disgruntled and angry. So a lot of these things can clash because it's really the clash of the energies more than anything. The other set of guys you have is something that's similar to what I was talking to you about a little bit earlier, Lola, as far as the creature of habit set. Just like how Brother Stan right here was just saying, he was like, I don't have time to be making new friends. I literally just said that a little while ago, you remember. So like, we also have something where like us as men, we get set in our ways, right? And then from there, it's like I'm either around my tribe or I'm a lone wolf. Now, if you even go to nature, most male species, from a goddamn rooster to lions, those boys got to separate once they reach a certain point. Why? Because it's the set in the ways. And if they do not separate, we all know what happens when you put two roosters in the same in the same barn. What happens? You get a cockfight. Pause. So with that being said, all right. Yeah. So between the guys that really honestly, what I be hearing, I'm telling you, because listen, like when I was on papers, like part of my probation, I had to go sit in rooms. I had to go into those, folded out metal chairs and shit. They got the coffee and shit in the back, cigarettes out front after we done. And I had to listen to people's stories. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of the times on these panels, I be hearing a lot of unresolved, unchecked therapeutic mental health shit going on. So that's why you got a lot of guys who really don't know how to approach situations, because it's like, they're so backed up. They're so backed up. They're so constipated of being able to emotionally release that when they finally get the opportunity to, it just floods out. They don't know how to control it. They don't know how to have a balance and just let it kind of seep out some. No, it's like you hit it and now the nozzle comes off and now you need a plumber. But I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
No, that's a hell of a good analogy.
Yeah, Smitty, that's great, man. I'm grateful for that. That was deep. Yeah, what I noticed, one unhealthy analogy I got stuck with, right, when I was dealing with the brotherhood at church. Now, this is in my own group, because I was in the singles, and I got told I was Joseph, and everybody else was like my brothers. And I'm just like, you know how that story turned out? You mean they're going to throw me in a ditch? Like, are you serious? And
Stan, what was the ending results? The very ditch that he was thrown into was the very ditch that he wound up ruling over.
And guess what, though? I got thrown in the ditch. So... What bothered me, right, Smitty, was this, right? You knew that everybody in the group was in the wrong, and you are busy chastising me to accept the BS. And I'm just like, I don't have to accept this. This is abuse. I got to get myself out of here, and I don't need this. I know what healthy friendships are, healthy brotherhood. This is not something I signed up for when I got baptized. I'm like, look, you guys go find somebody else to do this with. I'm not it, because I'm also Haitian. And there's a side of me, everybody like, you flip your coin and you either gotta be Jesus Christ or Paul the Baptist, or Paul the disciple. I'm like, man, I flip my coin. I'm Samson or I'm Joshua. I'm about the action. I'm going like I got a machete and I'm good to go. What we gonna do here? That's my coin. My coin is not Jesus, and my coin is not Paul. I have a limit. So
I still have my theory stand. I still think that the Haitians really did build the city of Atlantis. I just listen. That's just. I mean, that's a whole nother story. But I do. I have my speculations about you niggas. Rock out, Enter.
No problem. Let me read Yellow's comment. He says, I got repressed trauma. It started when I saw Scar kill Mufasa, his own brother. Hey, look. The Lion King, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
The Lion King. Woo.
The Lion King messed me up, bro, as a kid. I was not expecting at an early age to be watching a Disney movie like that. Watching someone's providing dad, loving dad get, oh my goodness. I don't even know how many times I can say the K word.
Hey, you know what's wild?
Mm-hmm.
You know how they actually got it, so look, right? It's Black History Month. So fuck it, let's go there.
Yeah.
So look, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you really understand the nature of lions and how they operate, as far as especially when it comes to the lioness, the most desired lion is the one who looks like Scar. It's the black mane. Actually, all of that like kind of light brown mane, that they're actually looked at as more so weak. They get shitted on. They get shitted on heavy out there. It's the black mane. So I wonder, why did they make the black? In real nature, Scar should have been Simba. That's the dominant lion. Look it up for yourself. That's the dominant male lion. I wonder, why was Scar made the bad guy, which really in nature, that nigga rules shit for real. But then, the ones that really, I'm not saying they don't get by. They do mate. They but they don't, no, they don't eat like the black mane ones. I just wonder what that is. But I digress. The mic right out.
Yeah, with that. Wow.
Yeah.
I never.
Yeah, third eye open, bro. My shit go other places.
And Lion King 2, the dark mane did become the king. And Lion King 2.
But then look at the depiction. But look at the depiction that they had was like, okay, it's like imagine Obama becoming. Well,
and his eyes look like a dope fiend. Didn't he look like he was always high, just waking up? Why the nigga couldn't have nice, beautiful, bright eyes like Simba? That nigga looked like he never got rest, and he was always on the move, about to pull a leg. Well, go ahead, M3. My bad.
And he was with hyenas all the time. And he was with hyenas.
And hyenas.
Hello.
Come on now.
Jesse. Salute to you, sis.
Hey, I was just checking on the microphone.
Oh, wait, go ahead.
No, I was just checking on my microphone. It was acting weird. But the darker manes are actually the older lions. The older they are, the darker their manes get. So Simba's actually a younger lion. And apparently something happened.
Are you sure about
Mufasa.
that?
Yeah, Mufasa is actually the younger lion than Scar, so I think that's why when he's like, is that a challenge? And he's like, Tempa, I wouldn't dream of challenging you. It's probably because he got his ass beat by Mufasa back in the day. And that's why Mufasa became king of the pride.
Maybe, but
Scar's a bitch ass.
I'm real huge on my animal facts. He's older, yeah, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the lions with the darker manes are more attractive to the females, and they generally grow up healthier and stronger. Period. I'm big on my shit.
Right.
Now, was he an older lion? Yeah, right. Of course. I mean, right. Yeah, maybe so.
Right. So like an older lion.
But that's a fact.
Right. So like an older lion, maybe he was like a couple of let's say let's go down on an imaginary speculative right, Lion King world, right? Let's imagine that Scar is actually like maybe a couple of sibling generation older, you know what I'm saying? And so if Mufasa is that much younger, then that means that he may actually have more strength. Maybe he just caught Scar slipping, and kicked his ass. And that's how
Lions
Scar got
get
his
their
name.
mane when they basically come of age, and the color of the mane is just like the color of our hair. Some of us have red, some of us. Once you have your hair, you have your hair. I don't think the whole dark thing has anything to do with being old. That's some lions have dark manes. Some
You may be
lions have
right.
browner. Some lions have lighter. And then you even have your albino white lions, which is very rare. So I don't think the age. No, the darker maned lions are the ones that be shitting on everything else when it comes to lions.
Yeah,
In the story. So rock out.
Ideally, I just Googled it, and it says higher levels of, you see Google, this is why we learn, higher levels of testosterone during adolescence and adulthood lead to the growth and darkening of the mane. So yeah, ideally, if they have more testosterone, right, during their adolescence, I would imagine that they'd be fucking kicking asses, like Smitty said. I can imagine. So that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I think Simba might have just caught this man's slipping, okay, and maybe just caught, boom, caught him on the left one, scarred up his eye, and then that's it, bro. He's done.
Okay, hold on, real quick. I gotta give a couple of salutes real quick. So salutes to Don Harding. Thank you for tuning in. Yellow definitely started this conversation, the subtopic about the Lion King. So this is definitely fun. Salutes to Yellow for that. Black man versus black man, equals black man. Kimberly KMA, salutes to you, sis. She was like, what did I just wake up to? Because over here, she's from South Africa, right? So I guess like the word, we keep talking about the Lion King so much that probably triggered the algorithm, and then the notification got way over to South Africa. So that's why Kim.
Maybe she's got some fun facts she can share with.
Yeah, maybe so. So we're talking about like pretty much like colorism in the Lion King, because Smitty took it to like another deeper level, but he's actually making a good point though.
And don't forget about Pumbaa and Timon. His best friends was a pig and a rat. So that nigga was with police and snitches. Anyway, rock out.
He was a meerkat.
Well, yeah, he is a meerkat. You gotta get the facts right, Smitty, right? But and of course,
meerkats are African rats.
What about Pumbaa though? He's a warthog. Is that an African like type of like hog? Or
that's a boar. Boars are pigs. Rock out.
Okay, so no, the main topic, MMC, right, is basically, do you cry, and if so, why? And mostly we was more talking about like why in society they pretty much put that label for men that it's not okay to cry, pretty much. But we got here to the subtopics. We kind of shift off every now and then. Disney and Nintendo taught us how to fight endlessly with multiple lies and redos. How to save the princess. Never we were taught how to be the prince, how to be the king.
You didn't have to be the prince, bro. You just had to be a savage. You had to be that guy that was willing to get dirty to go save that princess, bro. That's what won that princess's heart. You didn't have to be a prince. The prince shit comes later, bro. You figure it out.
Yeah. Kimberly said,
hold on. I want you to pay attention to Snow White. Women talking about, oh, a man gotta be this height and that height. No. That woman had 7 niggas willing to do her bidding. Yes. But because all of them was the size of Kevin Hart, none of them niggas had a chance. They saved it from the witch, all that shit. Them niggas still, listen, there's a message in that. There's a message in that.
Snow White is super evil. Walt
Pay
Disney is super
attention.
evil.
Now, mind you, Snow White, she wasn't nothing but about 4'5" herself.
She was like 16 or 14. She was super underage.
Come
just
on,
running around, just doing crazy
okay.
shit. She's doing shit she wasn't supposed to be doing. It's not exactly a good, productive message to be sending to the young children of today.
Like seriously, like we need to pay attention to the symbolism in these movies, right? I mean, just
shit,
pay attention to that. Don't get me started on Peter Pan.
Smitty done got me started. Oh shit. Let's do it then, Smitty.
Like, come on.
Hold on. Where is it?
No, shit. Here we go.
That's it. We're in there.
Let's do it.
Okay. The tag team duo, right? We got Mike up in the building too with Mimsy. So, okay, so Mike, right? Just to kind of feel you again, right? This is like
is the music on your end, Mr. M3? I'm just wondering.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. I thought I was crazy. Sorry to interrupt.
No. You good? And actually, the music is definitely fitting for this.
Shit gets a little weird when Smitty's in the building.
Yo.
No, not really though, because we got a lot of other people, and
this is our shit, Smitty.
The weird capacity goes up to an all-time high. So,
Snow White is actually an occulted story of the alchemical process and the great work of alchemy and the Hermetic principles. Are you aware of that?
Anybody aware of that?
Well, who's talking?
No.
That's me, dog.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yo. Yeah, you got the 7 Hermetic principles. You got the 7 dwarfs, dog. You know what I mean?
Do you guys know anything about alchemy? Let's start there, because if not, we're gonna have a lot of question marks in the room.
It's all symbolic, and it's written in a children's story because they're programming these children to see this later in life so that they can wrap them up into the Luciferian satanic doctrine in the alchemical process. Walt Disney's got the Mark of the Beast written in their logo, 666. They got the Club 33 that you can belong to for
and
$1 million
Disney, yes, the D, the G, the S or something, the G, yes, it has, yes, it is.
And
Walt Disney mapped
the
his
word
park.
Walt has it, yes, it does.
Walt Disney mapped his park in the shape of the greater Earth, masking the true geography of the Earth that we live on.
And let's just fast forward to today.
He got the information from Werner von Braun, an imported Nazi scientist under Operation Paperclip, who gave him the true understanding.
Now today.
All right, so hold on. Mark and Mindy. Can I ask you guys a question? So curious. So like how do you see, okay, so when they're talking about the symbolism in these movies, do you believe that these movies also project MK Ultra sounds throughout the more dramatic scenes to pull these people in?
Yes.
And for vibrational signals?
Yes, sir.
People would need a deeper understanding of what MK Ultra is and where it comes from.
There's visual stimulations, audio stimulations, their color spectrum,
trauma-based satanic mind control programming. It was discovered by the Templars when they unraveled the secrets of Solomon's Temple. It was later off branched into Freemasonry. The Jesuits got a hold of this knowledge as well.
They have put messages in so many different movies or symbolism. If you guys look at the cover of The Lion King, it's a naked, it's a lady with like her butt cheeks is Simba's nose, and she's like in panties. There's a scene in The Lion King where Simba goes and he's an adult and they're talking about the stars in the sky, and he walks away and he goes and lays down on the grass, and the plume of dandelions come up in the sky, and it spells SEX in the sky.
I remember
they have Hart Johnsons and some of the characters
all of these
with white pants
but that's just the white and the black checkerboard.
But listen, you have to remember the story behind Walt Disney himself is he was a spy. And Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, he wasn't just no, that's some real shit, Stan.
He was
look what they're talking about. See, I told you I'm Black Alex Jones. See, I just never have a chance to say this shit. You see, remember when I said we'd be suppressed? Remember when I said there's a whole lot that just be held in, and when you finally get a chance, see, the nozzle just broke. So, don't mind me if I go somewhere. Just follow me down the rabbit hole. I promise you. You'll see gophers and groundhogs and everything. Rock out. Go ahead, Mork and Mindy.
Wait, before you guys continue, right? Oh, and Mike, you guys do have an echo, just a slight echo. Real quick.
I'll fix that real quick.
No problem. All right, real quick. So let me. You guys wait, hold on. I gotta read my disclaimer real quick. All right.
Yeah, let Lola in there too. Let Lola again.
Yeah. Lola's next after I read this. So please be advised that what we discuss is not political, clinical, financial, medical, nor legal advice. This is for information and entertainment purposes. So basically, Disney, don't try to come at us or whatever, because I know you guys are like that type, you and Nintendo. And then also, please be advised that the opinions of our panelists, guests, in chat are not necessarily the viewpoints of non-relationships, whether we agree or disagree. But I just have to put that up there because you learn all this stuff from YouTube. What's it? YouTube University, whatever the hell it is. Anyways, go ahead, Lola.
Okay. So I don't know how we drifted into Walt Disney and all of that. What I will say is this.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is the imagery that any network wants to put out there is their right to do so, and we all have a right to turn off the television, buy another channel, do whatever we want to do, because the same people that are not watching Disney are watching King of the Hill, and all of that now. So as far as when it comes to the men's ability to express themselves, Walt Disney is a male, just like the Boondocks was produced by a male. These are male-driven ideas. Again, we all have a right to listen to them or not listen to them. No one's oppressing you at this point. But I will say that men nowadays have a space to express themselves in that way too. It's not just emotionally. You get to express yourself in your everyday careers in terms of what you go through as a man, what you don't go through as a man that you want to go through. This is part of your expression that you have the freedom to express yourself in. Now, am I saying that it's always a good thing? Do I always want to hear it, especially when it comes over media? Not always. But again, now we have to question, are men really suppressed when it comes to their emotions? Because when it comes to their sexual emotions, they're running rampant. There is nothing that is stopping men from expressing their sexual inclinations publicly in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So whereas maybe society doesn't want to see men cry, they definitely want to see men do other things. So maybe that's more of a conversation than what's happening at Disney.
I just think that we are existing inside of a matrix that has been overlaid on top of reality, and we can't expect to uncover the mystery of this matrix and bring out the truth while still operating within the confines of the matrix.
I'm not going to kill myself to get out.
Okay. What you got to understand is that whenever these true topics come out on panels, you'll notice agents pop up and start throwing flack into the air to derail.
Okay, no, that's okay.
I mean, anybody that's been heavily programmed by the system and operating within the matrix instantly becomes an agent.
I said, who's an
matrix
agent
itself? Well, I mean, who here is in opposition to the truth of this reality we live in?
I don't think anyone on the panel is in opposition to the truth of what we're living in. However, the conversation tonight is about men's health and men's ability to express themselves emotionally, as well as in other ways, and the freedom they need to maintain a healthy mindset, as women need too. And that's what we're here to
I completely
discuss.
Agree with you. I completely agree with you, and I'm saying that if there's nobody on this panel that's disagreeing with this, then we don't have any agents of the matrix. But it's very important to men's health, right? If they're mentally programmed under mind control.
Wait, hold on for a second, Mike. Well, I think you're struggle streaming. You're going in and out.
Sir, I don't. M3, you know the way my mic on my phone is set up, I can't really have people interrupting me and hearing me too. What I'm saying is that tonight, and y'all know how I can get, I need to respect the panel and the conversation, and I have to allow men to speak because this is about men's health. So I don't want to make this about women's issues, women's health, and women. However, to respect the conversation, we have to actually do that. Right now, I'm not seeing where the conversation is being respected when it's drifting off into conversations that are not related to the topic. And this conversation right here is taking it extra far. And I'm not saying what's true or not true about that conversation, but that is a separate conversation that honestly I don't know how we're gonna have it and be respectful of the topic. Like this is a bit
No, I
much.
completely understand. You felt the need to come up and direct the conversation back to the topic from wherever you were observing it. And you felt that this amount of time being spent on just talking about that specific action was more valuable than what we were saying. I completely understand.
All right, so let's stay on topic.
I have a question.
Yeah, so
I have a question to follow up on Miss Ocean, just because I showed up late, so I wasn't aware of the specific guidelines. Is the show, because you told me the topic was about crying, right? Is the show
yes,
and then you mentioned colorism earlier. I'm not sure if they're related or not, but my question is the show specifically for men on the crying thing?
Okay, so let me break it down to you, right, you guys.
Okay.
So, our segment is basically a segment for mental health for men. But tonight we do bring women up there because we want to get you guys' perspective on the crying part. Now, by the time we came up, we did kind of jump into a subtopic because someone mentioned about the Lion King. Smitty went deeper into it, and we kind of got off. So that's our bad on that part because it was an interesting topic and it was Black History Month. But the main topic is, do you cry as a person, and if so, why? So women are open to come up, and give their perspectives because we want to hear you guys' thoughts when you probably see a man in his most vulnerable state to cry. And Grizz, salute to you. I see you. I'm gonna get to you. You're gonna be next, all right? So so my question is, because I had the question up for you, Mimsy, right? And for Mike as well, too, is that how does the act of crying impact your mental health, both positively and negatively? And salute to you, Ruby. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to come up, feel free to come up as well, too.
I mean,
but it's open for men and women right now.
I can only speak on my personal experience with, crying. And to be honest, I was raised in a very heavily hardened Sicilian family where we don't cry. You know what I mean? Like, you don't do that. Men don't cry. You get what I'm saying? And what I had learned from that experience is that essentially crying is a last resort. When we feel like there is nothing that we can do to change the outcome of a situation that is inevitably leading to something that we cannot handle, right? What I've learned from not being able to cry, essentially, is that we have to, in that moment of despair, right, look for what we can do, right? Now, there are situations that are unchangeable. You have a death. You can't change that, right? But as a man, you know what I'm saying? We can cry about it, right? But it won't change anything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to sit here and say I've never, shed a tear in my life. But it's been very few and infrequent. You know what I mean? Even in death. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I've learned different ways to understand these things instead of processing them as despair and sadness. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Real quick. Let me see. Stephanie, this is my first time seeing you. Stephanie, if you can, just give me a thumbs up real quick in the back chat. Oh, okay. All right, you're good. I'm going to bring you up, okay? All right. How you doing, Stephanie? Before I get to you, let me get to oh wait, is that White School podcast? My bad. Okay. I got you, sis. Respect.
I'm being normal tonight. I'm being a civilian.
Okay. My bad. I didn't recognize you at first, though. I was just looking at the name intently, so I wasn't even paying attention to the face. But Grizz, are you still up here?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
cool.
I'm right here.
All right. So my question to you, Grizz, right, is that oh shoot, I forgot to get to Mimsy. Hold on for 1 second. I'm sorry, Grizz.
Yes,
Mimsy, are you still here? Okay, she probably stepped out. Okay, Grizz. All right, let me ask you this question, okay? Do you differentiate between crying in private and crying in front of others? How does the setting affect your experience?
For me, it depends on who's around me. Like, do I feel safe? Like my other friends, I've cried around my other friends, because I know it's a safe space and stuff like that. Because majority of my friends know that I'm definitely an emotional person, and so and also too, like I've actually cried in front of my son, just to show him, hey, you are a young man. You are a young man. You are a human being. If you're a human being, you're supposed to shed an emotion. You're supposed to shed tears. We are not robots. We are. I feel like the human race in particular, we are emotional human beings. Some more than others. But yeah, I can only speak on in my case, and so. But yeah, I feel like it depends on who you feel comfortable around.
Okay. The comfortability. So, all right, and I appreciate your candidates too, though. Like I said, a lot of people are. I'm gonna be honest with you. They're gonna probably disagree. You're gonna be like, "What kind of grown man is teaching his son it's okay to cry when your son gets around in society? Society is gonna mock him. They're gonna try to beat him down for that." Maybe as a follow-up question is that how will you prepare for that? Because if you're telling your son it's okay for him to cry, and it's a way to pretty much relieve yourself, but then once it gets into like a school and around other kids and they see him crying and they're teasing him, wouldn't he get confused? And what would be like the solution?
So right now my son is 6. He has cried in front of his peers because he's in elementary right now. But I know as he gets older, things are gonna start changing. You know what I'm saying? I would actually, in that moment, I would tell him, hey, if you feel like you have to cry in private, that you really don't feel comfortable crying in front of other people, just go somewhere in private, get it out, call me, call your mom, and whatnot, and I'm gonna let him know, like, when you're home, it's okay to cry. And then if you feel comfortable around your friends, if you feel like, I'm gonna tell them too, because I know things get hard in life. So I'm telling them, if you feel comfortable in front of your friends about crying, it's okay. I would say that is up to you if you feel comfortable crying in front of your friends. But as of right now, since he's in elementary, just let it out.
Okay. We're gonna follow up on that. Why School Podcast. What do you think everything that Grizz is saying right now? Do you agree with him? And chat, let me know if you agree with Grizz or you disagree. Oh. Why School Podcast? Stephanie?
Hello.
Hey.
I'm so sorry, guys. I am at work.
Oh, no problem.
What was the question? Restate it, my love.
I don't know if you got a chance to hear what Grizz was saying, but to summarize, he's telling his son that it's okay for him to cry, and his son is 6. So he's saying that it's okay for him to cry in front of his peers, in front of his friends or whatever, in the public, and he has cried in front of his son, so his son could see that it's okay for a grown man to cry. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I would like for men to express themselves. I don't think there's nothing wrong with crying. It's a natural thing. I mean, if men weren't supposed to do it, no tears will come out their eyes. You know what I'm saying? Biologically, it will be a biological thing. But we are humans with emotions, and some of those emotions come with tears. Some of them come with anger. Some of them come with, using physicality. But I think people should cry because it is a release. Children cry all the time. We know that. and just because you do it doesn't make you less of a man, because if you are a man with integrity, or if you are a man that has great attributes, that you're a protector and provider, and in that one moment that you feel overwhelmed, or if you feel that you've missed the mark, and it makes you cry, that doesn't mean that you lose all those other traits. Now, I don't know why women, for some reason, devalue a man in his weakest point. I don't really get that aspect, but I believe men are entitled to express themselves. And if he sheds a tear, if he's vulnerable and boo-hoo, allow him. Where's a safe place for a man to do that without deeming him a
deep
punk?
In the woods, Steph. Deep in the woods.
But you know what? But the thing is a lot of men are hurting, and a lot of men do suffer in silence, and that's not right. It's not right. And they don't have a safe place to talk to women. Wouldn't it naturally be that you go to your lady or your mom? I mean, definitely you go to your mom and stuff like that, because your mom trusts you and has the unconditional love, and no matter what you do, she'll always have that same energy no matter what. But when you translate over into a marriage or relationship, like, I think it should be the same thing. But it's just society surrounding it. It just gives it a bad connotation, which I think is not fair. But I think men should cry. I think they should. If they cry deep in the woods, at least you're crying deep in the woods, If I see you getting in the truck, he might be going to hunt or crying deep in the woods, I don't know.
Yep, I was raised by the wolf.
Yeah. Dances with wolf. But it's just an emotion. And I don't think a man is weak for crying. I tell him to express his emotion, but let it, process that emotion. Sometimes harboring things can build up, and when it pops, the outcome may not be pretty. So if you teach the young men how to definitely process their emotions, I think they can, navigate their masculinity in a way where they don't have to totally lose it, and, feel weak, stuff like that.
I agree, and I believe that it starts with the children. And so the way that I explain it to my kids is that everybody has a cup. Whether you're a boy or a girl or a man or a woman, everybody's got a cup. And eventually your cup is going to get filled, man. And when it gets filled, different people, when they overflow, it overflows differently. Some people cry, some people rage out, some people break shit. I don't know. Everybody's got different. Some people go for walks. What we have to do and what we have to teach our children, as well as learn it for ourselves, because obviously us as adults, we are struggling.
Right.
What we have to try to all learn and teach our children is how we handle when our cup is overflowing. If we do have to cry sometimes, okay, fine, let it out, because in the end we have to express ourselves, especially now when they're young, they're making their brain synapses. But then pick yourself back up, let's do it, and then let's keep going, because life moves on, and then it's not just about crying, it's about resilience as well.
I wanted to comment on the crying, the thing we spoke about just earlier. I didn't get a chance to comment on it, about what Grizz said with his son. And, I have sons, and at the end of the day, right, if my son's going to be interacting in the public, right, there's a certain way that a man has to carry himself. Otherwise, they're going to be susceptible to like, essentially, they're going to open themselves up to opportunities for negative events. And what I mean by that is that, in any public environment, right, in any social economic environment, when you're out there in the public dealing with people, right, in your community, in your area, in your school, right, they're going to perceive you in a certain way. And if they think that you're weak, right, because they saw you break down and cry, then they're going to think they can get away with other things. And so it's the same thing as, like, if you let somebody bump into you in the hallway, right, like, not on accident, like they're trying to disrespect you, and you don't do anything about that, you're now opening up the door.
Or if you cry about it.
Or if you cry about it, you're opening up a door for a whole slew of shit that's going to happen to you in the future. You got to understand that there's a lot more to this.
True.
And so a man can have feelings, but yo, at the end of the day, right? If your son goes to jail and he still carries this out and he's crying in jail, right? It's going to be a problem. So
Right.
you know, you don't want to build these bad habits at a young age. You got to teach your son how to survive in this world. Even if your son isn't tough, he's got to look tough. A Sun Tzu, bro. If you ain't strong, appear strong. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Well, the thing is, we stripped our boys, our young men, of rites of passage. So, even though we have a lot of emotional men, we don't have men that are teaching the young men how to garner that strength and be like, use it for their advantage or leverage it. And they don't have anything that makes them think about, well, I'm proud to be a man, All they think about sometimes is just sex or getting draws, not like, while I'm strong, I'm building character, I know how to chop wood, I know how to assemble weapons, I know how to go out and survive.
Well, because you got society telling them that that's wrong. You know what I mean? You got women out here telling men that they're wrong for being men, for doing man things. They shouldn't do this. You shouldn't hunt. You shouldn't be a man. You shouldn't go to the gym. You should be effeminate. You should, you know what I'm saying? You should listen to me. You should stay at home. You cook. You clean.
Be a
I
rapper.
want to go to work.
Sorry,
you know what I mean? Like,
sorry to all the rappers.
It's a slippery slope. You know what I mean? When we start effeminating men and emasculating women. It's not the way that it's intended to be. And we can see the repercussions of it live in real time. Look at the world around you. It's not good. You know what I mean?
Let me say this.
Hold on, Smitty. Let me get in this.
Go ahead. So finding C. Go ahead.
This whole shit is really out of pocket right now. How dare any of y'all motherfuckers tell this man how to parent his child? That's his child. Y'all gonna be there when something happens to his child? Y'all gonna feed his child? Y'all gonna pamper his child? If something happened with his wife, you gonna be there for his child? Like, really? Like, y'all out of pocket, bro.
Yo, are you this man's lawyer?
Anybody speaking? I'm speaking.
Are you speaking for this man?
I'm talking, bro. I'm not interrupting nobody. I'm talking.
I'm just saying, you come out here wilding out, bro. Talking about we're out of pocket. You're out of pocket.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. One mic.
I got him. It's cool. Like I was saying.
Hold on. Just one mic, everybody.
Nah,
Be respectful.
Me, bro. Nah, he's not gonna disrespect me on the show. He's not, bro. Point blank, period. So don't disrespect nobody on this show. I'm talking. I get everybody their stage. This man doing what he got to do. Grizz, you an excellent parent, bro. You do great. You are a way better father I've ever seen ever. You know what I'm saying? Including the ones that have been in my life, bro. You ain't gotta apologize for shit. No, you gotta validate shit when it comes to your child, bro. Straight up and down.
I appreciate it, bro. I mean, I'm like this. Like, everything that I'm learning, I'm actually putting into practice. Like, I'm teaching my son how to talk. I'm teaching him I'm teaching my son multiple languages. I mean that literally. He's learning Swahili, Yoruba. He's learning Spanish. He's learning. I'm actually teaching him sign language as well. I'm trying to teach him chess, checkers. I'm teaching him teaching him how to speak up. Like, when somebody's talking to you, look into somebody's eyes and talk. And then when he doesn't talk out loud, I keep telling him tieta means speak. And so, but yeah, I'm gonna put it this, like, I'm just want to make sure that he's armed with knowledge, make sure he's a well-rounded individual.
Beautiful.
All right. Hold on, let me say something before I get to like evolution, right? Look, everybody be respectful, okay? Everybody have their thoughts and their opinions. And I know like their thoughts and opinions are not solely based on like, shit nobody's parenting or whatever. So I don't want nobody in the chat, getting their feelings or whatever. Let's stay on topic. This is about like, okay, how society itself looks and judge. Now, look, I've been objective throughout the whole live stream. So I'm mostly just listening to everybody's opinions to it. Look, however Grizz parents his child or whatever, I'm not going to go against it or whatever. The only thing I'm going to go think to my mind is like, okay, how would I be in that situation if I was a parent? Knowing that how like the world is just like jacked up and cruel. You know what I mean? So because I understand the ways of the world, how can I create a proper balance so I don't set my own kid up? And like I said, this is not judging Grizz's parenting on his child, but it's like, how do I set a kid up that maybe I have to take care of, where he could get all his emotions out when it's needed, but then yet it doesn't end up to him being like used. Because people, I'm gonna be straightforward. People out there, man, like, you know, they're brutal. They're gonna use whatever you have, and then they're gonna flip it on you to try to make themselves like feel better. So we do have to have like a proper balance on this.
Yeah.
Rue, I see Salutes in the building. We do have Evolution. Evolution, I'm glad that you came up because I know you also have a different opinion as well too. So, and I want to hear your thoughts as well. And then I'll get to Ruby.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good night.
Hello, Evolution.
Queen. What's up, Queen?
Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
My kings and my queens. I do have a different opinion. I feel like when we tell, especially our community, you know, the Black young king coming up, you know, that it is okay for him to cry. I think that's a big problem, you know, because like you said, M3, you know, people will look at you differently. You will become, you know, excuse my language, the sucker of the bunch. You know, you will be used. You know, you are a target. You know, now I like how y'all said, you know, that you can put if they're older, they can go and get their feelings out, you know, athletics, everything, karate, basketball, football. I think those are ways to get those emotions out, you know, working out. But telling a young man, you know, that he can cry, telling a grown Black man that he can cry, you know, unless it's not in the shed, you know, or in the closet where nobody can see, I feel like he becomes a woman. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I know I have strong opinions on that, but I've seen this type of stuff happen, and I've seen the respect seep out the pores. You know, I've seen it like, oh, he a sucker. Oh, we gonna get him. You know, or in the women's case, oh, he crying, oh, he soft, I'm taking all his money. You know, stuff like that. I feel like you can tell youngsters to do that, but when they get of a certain age, the crying, you have to figure out another way. You understand? To get those feelings out. You are not supposed to cry like a little girl, you know. And I say it all the time, and it's going to sound real bad. It do every time I say it. But it's like, do you want my respect? Do you want my vagina? Or do you want my pad? You understand? Because a crying man, we bleed the same time every month. You understand? But a real man that gets that out another way, oh, you know, he gets the world, you know. And excuse me, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm very blunt, but that's how I feel about that. It's I've seen it happen. I've never seen my father cry. I've never seen my brother cry. I've never seen my father tell my brother to cry, you know, and I've seen my brother walk around here and get the respect of everyone that knew him. My father the same way. I don't even react well to men that cry. It's nothing that you can never ever say to me, and you can't raise your me because you have now turned into a woman. You know, hopefully I ain't offending anybody, you know.
And this evolution, I'm going to this major respect, major blessings.
Wait, somebody said something?
I said, Brooke, say what you saying. Fuck them, Brooke. Fuck them. Say what you saying.
Yeah.
And you know what? And to play this in the word of Method Man, in the word of Method Man from How High, get him.
Yes, because I'm gonna be honest. I'm a woman, right? And you know, I'm out in the dating scene, but I'm in the dating scene in a different capacity, right? I am what they call vetting, you know. And I can't say that I've seen ever any man in my relationship. And the one that I can say that we didn't even get to relationship because he became soft to me when he cried in front of me and his son. This is my thing. If you're gonna cry, player, your mama gonna have to die, your daddy, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to have the bullet in your body at the time that the tear drops. Other than that, I don't understand you, player. I don't get it. I don't get it. It got to be death and destruction. That's the only thing I can respect. I'm sorry.
Let me see a man cry till I see a man die.
That was evil. You know how I think about this. Yeah, I told you about this already.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead, Mr. Bass, and then Roy will get to you.
Hold on. You know what I mean? Listen, you know what I mean? This is my thing. Nobody can tell a man how to be a man, especially a woman. You can't tell me how to be a man.
Right.
I'm a man. Do what the fuck I want. The only person that can tell me how to be a man, two are in heaven and one is down here. Well, more than one is down here. It's a few down here. It's a very short list. Very short list. Can't nobody tell me how to be a man. Point blank, period. Nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something when you're done? So when you're done.
Wait, hold on a minute, because I gotta get to Ruben.
My only thing is this. My only problem with this conversation is this, and this is why I said it from the beginning. It was with the thing with Grizz, and that pissed me off because it's like, don't tell this man how to parent. That was my only thing. I don't care about your opinions. I don't give a fuck about what none of y'all think, honestly. Because I'm gonna be me regardless.
Yo, can I please say something real quick? Please, real quick.
I'm gonna say what I gotta say regardless.
All right, Smith, hold on.
You know what I mean? Point blank, period. But I felt like it crossed the line when we started talking about this man parenting.
Well, you're addressing me, right?
Yeah, but nobody.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, Smitty. Go ahead.
I save a race.
So let me say this, okay? And you know I love you, brother. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? This shit ain't even looking right now. So, you know, the number one thing that we about is allowing people to speak their mind. And I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I didn't hear at one time anybody telling anyone how to parent. You keep talking about you don't give a fuck about what nobody got to say about you being a man. Well, dog, if you really don't care, you're showing a lot of emotion for somebody who don't give two fucks. It's a lie coming out with you right now, dog. And I'm telling you now, I'm picking it up. So I'm going to say it to you, Brody. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I hope we can get this shit together. Dead ass. Because I'm like for real, bro. Like, think about it. Us as men, the number one thing that we have to show is some form of fashion when it comes to how men operate. There's a united front. We can't have a nigga in a bunch talking about some, well, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I do what the fuck I want. Fuck all y'all niggas. That don't work, my G. We have to move in unison. We really do. Now thinking, so I'm almost done, dog. Now thinking in unison, no, bro, we are all individual people out here. And you should know Smitty is the number one person that gets that. But I'm just saying, dog, like, look, the fact is, everybody up here is going to have a different view on things. There are certain things when it comes to the basically like descriptions of what we all know comes with masculinity, manhood, the whole nine. There are certain laws that's put in place. Now, whether you care about them laws or not, fine, nigga, but don't try to stop other men from talking about it. Don't try to make other motherfuckers feel bad about talking about what the fuck you know is real. Now, if you feel that way about it, cool, my nigga, say that, cool. But don't try to shit on another man for speaking his brain. That's something I don't rock with, my G. Now, are we inclusive with this thing when it comes to people speaking their mind or not? Or is it subjective? Is it selective? Is it when it only feels good to sow? Now, that's all I got to say, my nigga, and you know I love you. You know you my folks, you know you fam. But I mean, you already know I pull niggas up, dog. I don't tolerate that shit.
I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out, my G.
At the end of the day, I said what I said. I don't have to prove or validate myself to anybody on this panel. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. I'm already monetized on one channel, about to have another monetized very quickly. I don't have to prove shit to nobody, bro, at all. When I wake up and I put them fucking medicines in that fucking thing and that fucking tube and all that, and I take my shit, ain't nobody else around but me. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. I just felt like when it came to even asking that man, even alluding to how that man parenting, that was crossing the line. Because I wouldn't do that with nobody else.
Why are you speaking for Griggs?
Because
let that man say he crossed the line.
Personally,
let
you don't
him
know
say it to him. He's a grown ass man. Let him say it to him. You don't talk for him. Because you know what happens? Listen. You make Grizz look weak. That's what you don't even realize about the code of manhood. So you made Grizz look weak. You made it look like he can't talk for himself. You let that man handle his shit. You don't talk for him like that. You don't go throwing punches in for him, and he ain't even swing for himself yet. He didn't even swing for himself yet. My nigga, get it together. The fuck you talking about?
Okay, everybody, hold on, everybody. I need y'all to calm down, bro. Calm down, man. Calm down.
You gonna tell me about Grizz? It's like somebody tell me about you in 3.
We're all men. I don't want to hear shit about who closer. We're all men. I'm talking about the dynamics of men and how we supposed to project ourselves, my G. Fuck who know who. I'm looking at men. I know men. I'm a fucking man, just like you.
Somebody that you know personally, bro, that step over the line yet again.
That's how you took that. You ain't get that man the chance.
One question led to a whole bunch of anger and hostility. Come on, man.
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Look, can we be adults and like just get this shit on? Cause look,
you got it, M3. I digress. My mic is muted. You got it, Brody. You got it.
I get it. I got Mike that need to speak. I got Grizz. I got Ruby up in the chat as well too, though. And look, I'm not trying to end this early, but if I have to, I will. So then we can actually sell all whatever that we feeling behind the scenes. But we got Grizz, the man himself, that can also speak for himself. No, but Bess, hold on, Bess. I get where you're coming from, you know. But at the same time, we're not speaking bad about Grizz's parenting. We're objectively speaking as if we're in a third party. If this was us, how we're going to conduct and handle.
Thank you, M3.
Hold on. Let me get to Mike real quick. And again, I'm asking everybody to be respectful. Don't be in it. I'm not gonna say the emotions or whatever, but say however you feel, whatever, so I can get to Rue and Grizz. I'm gonna get back to you, okay? Thank you for coming up. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much time with all the drama and bullshit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, right? I just feel like, yo, you came on a panel, wilding out, talking about I disrespected you, right? On your panel, kicked me off, right? And at the end of the day, respect is earned. But like, what I'm putting out, I believe to be true. And so if you didn't agree with it, you know what I mean? You should have stated an opinion and just had a discussion about it instead of just wilding out, you know what I mean? That didn't provide anything but the drama. That's basically it, yo.
Okay.
You're not gonna tell me how to speak, bro. Like, you're not gonna tell me how to speak. I feel like
you're trying to tell me how to speak.
Who I know, and I said something about it. Point blank, period.
I mean, you want to tell me how to speak, but you don't want to be told how to speak. Is that what you're saying?
I feel like you crossing the line by talking about my brother's parenting. Point blank, period. Ain't nothing to say, bro. I don't care if it's my actual brother. I don't care if it's Grizz. I don't care if it's M3. I'm gonna be the same way, bro.
Well, yo, how did Grizz feel about it? Grizz?
I'm on your ass, bro.
Yo, Grizz.
Okay, hold on.
How did Grizz feel about it?
We ain't got.
I'm just wondering.
Come on, so.
Because even God won't help somebody that don't help themselves.
So relax, bro.
You know I ride already, bro. They know that. I'm a rider, bro. Straight up.
Well, what are you riding?
Okay. Exactly? You don't gotta prove nothing to nobody, bro.
But if I see
you know you good, my nigga, you know you good, so Come on, bro. Listen. Your brother's talking to you right now, dog. I'm telling you for the viewership, dog. Come on, so stop, man. Stop, my nigga.
Hey, look.
Okay, go ahead, Grizz.
I don't think y'all understand him. When we talk where we from, we talk passionately. You notice I didn't do all that, oh my God, because we from the same place. So we passionately talk. He's just talking with passion. He didn't really come at anybody. You know what I'm saying? But he is protecting his brother. So he feel how he feel. The problem was maybe I didn't do it was when I came out, I should have said, I'm not talking about Grizz. Because you got to remember, right after Grizz spoke about his child, me and Rant started talking about how to raise your child. So
none of that was your fault, bro. None of that was you.
But it could have been a misunderstanding. You see what I'm saying? So
no,
and I know he's not talking to disrespect nobody because I know this brother. Trust me, we from the same place. He's just passionately talking. I do it all the time. You get what I'm saying? I don't think he was coming at you, Mr. Rant or whatever. He just telling you how he feel. You get what I'm saying? The problem is when you came up, you were a little off guard with us because of how you came up and how you came at Miss Ocean. Because I was a little on guard when I came up with you also. But I don't think he was coming at you. I think he was just talking with passion. It's no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? We just talk very blunt and how we feel. You get what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Yeah, and we are very alarming. Us from Brooklyn, we are very alarming to people because we talk with a lot of passion, and sometimes I feel like we coming at you. We ain't coming at you. That's my fault, Grizz, because I want to let you know that I was not talking about you. I didn't even think about you and your child. You know what I'm saying? When I was talking, I was saying that stuff in the comments. And M3 could tell you, I said a whole bunch of stuff in the comments. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with you and your child. I got the most respect.
This is way
for you as a black man. You know what I'm saying?
I would never tell another man how to raise his kid, and I'm sorry if you took it that way.
And look, I'm like this. Blessings to everybody. I literally appreciate everybody's perspectives. I appreciate the passion. I appreciate everybody in this panel. And honestly, and like I said, hold on, give me a second. Let me close this. Let me close this door. I'm sorry about that.
And actually, Sweetie and Mr. Best, they doing the same thing.
Hold on, give me a second.
Best is protecting Grit, and Grit is trying to help Mr. Best. So it's all love. It's just the tones and how we talk. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's all love and respect. Though.
Yeah. And that's why I was trying to kind of nip that in the bud because again, everybody see things differently. So I want to make sure that look, don't take none of this stuff personal. It is the way how Mr. Best talk. It's the way how Grizz talk, how Smitty talks, how Mike talks as well too. So you guys got to accept that people talk in a certain type of dialect.
But see, M3, folks like us, like me and Soul, we can go back and forth like that. We get that shit. There are other people that may not.
Who I am, right? There's
but listen though, I just want to real quick, briefly. I'm about to mute down. Bro. I've never seen you use defusing skills. That was excellent technique, beautiful execution. You went in. I'm trying to tell you, you slid in real nice and smooth. I'm gonna try to tell you right now. I like that. See, that's growth. That's growth. That's what I'm talking about. All right, now respect.
Thank
you. All right, look, I gotta get. Hold on, everybody. I gotta get to Ruby. Ruby has been patient for like a good 10 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Where the fuck is Ruby? She up here?
Ruby's been down here for a minute.
Hey, what's up, fam?
Oh shit, what's going on?
Minutes. I gotta hear her voice for a couple of minutes. You know what I mean? So after Ruby, Mr. O'Shea, I know you want to speak too. You've been good. Hey, praise God to you. I'm recognizing that. Okay, but go ahead, Ruby.
What's up, fam? Much love to everybody. It's very interesting to see the human behavior interaction in action. I just wanted to share this. On just a biology, it's very healthy for us to cry. There's detoxification. We're talking detoxification. We're talking there's some really great benefits to crying. It's very unfortunate that we live in a matrix in which people think that that's a weakness because it is not. My people are some of the biggest motherfuckers, warriors, most masculine men that you ever see, and they will cry when they need to with no hesitation. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. But I just wanted to share that. And as a woman, I would say not even the older that I get, but the more that I understand myself and my human nature, the more I see the beauty in a person who can be vulnerable. And if I have a partner that needs to cry, I would love to offer my arms instead of my judgment. That's all I got to add.
Man, that was very beautiful. Thank you, Ruby. Guys, is my mic muted? I mean, muffled?
A little bit.
I don't think
Maybe
so.
you just wasn't talking into it. Sometimes I get far away.
Am I good now?
Golden.
Okay. Yeah. It was muffled because the mic was far away though. All right, Mr. O'Shea, go ahead and
when you face away, it gets muffled again. You're right.
Okay. But it's good now, Mike, right?
It's good when you're facing the mic. It's perfect. You might need to turn it up a little bit in the back end. Like on StreamYard. You might need to crank it up.
All right, for sure. Thanks. Fix this real quick. Go ahead, Lola.
Can you hear me, Emperor?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. So listening to the conversation, and I'm gonna try and keep it, on target. I generally speaking, there's a time and place for everything. And I'll say this, as a woman, I think it's incumbent upon a woman to simply be a safe space for any male that's not a threat in her life. And it doesn't have to be a lover or whatever. Any male, whether it's a friend, a parent, a child, lover, whatever the case may be, people should be able to come into your space and be vulnerable and trust that their vulnerability is safe with you. And I think that is a part of being a good family member, a good friend, a good coworker sometimes. Like, that's just good etiquette as a person. But I will say this, I don't expect men to operate not like men according to male culture in terms of the crying, because amongst men, they have their own insect culture when it comes to crying, and I don't think that needs to change. However, I do think that when men come to their private space, this is where the conversation of crying can actually take place, because now the question is, who is in that private space that's allowing said man to express himself healthily in that moment versus, all over the place. Because I get what Evolution is saying, that as a man, there's very few times where it's okay for you to just bawl out crying. I mean, like she said, it has to be for a reason, because if it's not, and you're just bawling out crying because you just don't feel good today, that now we're starting to go down into a different road. So I understand where she's coming from. However, I do think that if a man feels like he want to cry because he's just over emotional in his closet, and when he come out, he's good, he seems that every single day, again, there's a time and place for everything. Even that can be tempered. But I will say that I think everybody speaks a certain level of truth when it comes to that, even to the point of raising children. I get it, at a certain age, you may want your child to cry, let it out, not let them hold things in, because that creates a different problem. However, as they grow, life will teach them when to cry and when not to cry. You don't really need to sit and tell them that. And I've told all of my children, there's certain things I'm not going to be able to teach you, meaning tell you and you understand. Some things you're going to have to live through and figure it out on your own. But I'm here for you when you fall. That's the only thing I can tell you, because that's just the truth. Some things I can teach them, but then there's certain things I can't. And when it comes to men and when to cry, that's something that I really can't tell them. They have to understand through being around other men. And they also have to understand based on my availability and any woman's availability in their life. So, I can agree with everyone to some degree. But that is to a degree, because I know with my boys, they've learned pretty roughly when and why not to cry and when to cry around certain people, especially my youngest son, because he does martial arts. And in martial arts, you can get beat up and you're expected to stand there and not show any emotion until after nobody can see you. So that happens a lot over there. And, you know, when you have children that have to be disciplined like that, it can be pretty rough. But I'm trying to help balance that at home when it comes to my son and his ability to express himself. But it's just an example that, again, life will teach you. You don't always need to be told, especially by women, about your emotions. But I will say, as long as a man has healthy emotions and has healthy expressions of them, I really don't care when he decides to, you know, express it, just as long as it's not something turning into toxicity in any direction. And like I said, with Evolution's point, if it's turning into toxicity where that's all you're doing is complaining, now we have a problem. If it's turning into toxicity because you can't speak about your emotions because you're so worried about being macho man, and now you have internal problems, now we have a problem. So, I mean, I'm for the balance, but I think as a woman, my part in that balance is it has a cap on it, and I can't really go beyond that cap. But I digress. You guys can go ahead.
I agree.
I would just like to say I really appreciate the women of the panel resting in their femininity while the men kind of hash things out. I appreciate you all not growing Tuscan horns yourself and trying to headbutt into shit. So that is something noted by this man here. Rock out.
Emotions are a real thing. It's okay to have them.
Yo, can I wrap it up with mad clarity for everybody?
Yeah, what's the clarity?
If you notice, me and my wife have kind of not exactly the same like idea and methods, right? We don't really agree on everything, right? And as a father, right, you're supposed to provide that logical foundation of discipline, right? And then you have the mother who's going to provide, you know, more of an emotional, you know, space, let's say. And your children, they're not always going to land all the way to the logic or all the way to the feminine qualities of emotion, right? But if a child grows up in a single parent household, you'll notice that child will lean towards one of these sides because they don't have the balance. And it's the job of the parents to notice where the child is and bring them into equilibrium. No one is supposed to be polarized. But as a father, sometimes you have to provide this polarity in order to offset the feminine qualities.
And as a mother, it is also important to teach your sons what a woman is to expect from her husband. You understand?
So I understand the female point of view, and I respect that, but at the same time, I don't have to be that. I have a different job, and it is our job together to make sure that our son is best suited for survival in this world and to prosper.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, it's not that I don't think a man should be able to cry at all. It's that we're operating in a matrix, like Ruby said, right? We're operating in this matrix. I also claim that we're operating in this matrix where society's perception is the reality we're operating in. So it doesn't really matter what's happening. What matters is what's being perceived of you.
That's right.
And that's the response you're going to get. Because the masses are mind controlled, you see? They're under programming. They only know stimulus response programming, trauma-based programming, where the trauma happens and then it plays the program. This is why the Disney movies have a trauma and then they insert the program, you see?
Right. Now, K. Marion, oh shoot, I sound like I'm pretty loud. Am I too loud, guys? Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, hey, Mrs. M3.
Yeah. She said like you guys was too far from the mic, but you might have to turn like your volume up, Mrs. M3, because I heard Mike loud and clear. So, and Uncle Fatty, man, hey, salute to you, sir. Thank you for coming up. What's your thoughts, man, about what's that again?
Thanks for having me. Of
No
all the people
problem.
I figured I'd run into tonight, it wouldn't have been Rant, but hey, much respect, Rant. Good to see you, brother.
Yo, you already know, me and Mr. M3 go way back.
Straight up, I didn't know that, but you know, I do now.
But yeah, so Uncle Fatty, let me get your thoughts real quick, because in a minute I will be wrapping up this live stream in a few. But My
kind
question
of what
is,
I was. Oh, go ahead.
My question is to you, right? Basically, and I know you said like a lot in the chat. So what was your thoughts, right? If you want to elaborate everything that you summed up.
We're not responsible for the things that we're programmed as children, right? We've got these societal norms, and I think what Grizz and Rant were both hitting on is that there's a time and place, right? And there's judgment and there's consequences from society when boys break down in public, and especially at school and in different situations in sports, where society and we have these expectations to be strong and to be tough, and to suppress these feelings. And sure, okay, cry at home, but there is this tradition, there is this societal norm that everybody deals with as far as crying goes with men. And I brought up the thought of, what about at weddings, and what about for love stories, because that's crying over love and crying over pain and crying over grief. There's different reasons why we cry, but there's no wrong feelings, right? And when we can teach our sons that, like, yes, there's going to be emotional times, there's going to be times when you want to break down and you want to throw your helmet on the ground and just pitch a fit, but you can't. Okay, you got to be a man, you got to act like a man, and you can come home and cry. You can cry on the way home in the car. But like, I think when we get this absolutism and we get this the hard line that we kind of screw our sons over from really just being able to know that there are feelings, and what Smitty was saying earlier about fold up chairs in those rooms. I've been in those rooms and I've sat on a lot of those fold up chairs, brother, and like it's not often that you get a group of men together that can all talk about their feelings, because we're taught not to, right? We're taught like to suppress, and we're taught to be strong, and we get into those rooms, and I've seen guys do it too, man, where it's the first time they've really dealt with emotion as an adult, and they're trying to go through addiction and recovery. They're trying to go through maybe a divorce group or maybe a church group or a men's Bible study. And it's Niagara Falls, and at that point, like there's nothing better than having that release, and I still cry when I see Forrest and Jenny hug in the pond on the movie. Like the violins don't have to be playing. I cry over stupid shit every once, but like, how many of us guys actually cry to a song when we're driving somewhere? We shed that little bit of a tear and then we suppress it, and we don't tell anybody that we cried that day.
Yeah, nobody want to talk about that.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna say.
I'm sorry. Softer and softer as I'm listening. Please don't do this.
I ain't gonna lie. Not the music. The only way that'll happen now. Listen. I ain't gonna lie. I can see myself breaking down if one day when it does happen, Lord forbid anytime soon, I'm riding in the car and I'm listening to a song after my parents are gone, and I'm listening to something my father always played or my mother. That might hit. That might hit something vicious. But other than that, nah, my nigga. We ain't playing no Usher. I'm turning on some Mobb Deep, some shit, nigga. We go. I gotta get away some shit, my nigga. We nah. I'm just saying what Smitty does. That position ain't changed, but I do get you. My G. Nah, you ain't lying about them rooms. That's some real shit. That is real. I've seen it myself.
I know, but after my sister passed away, Safari, Daddy's on the phone. Stop.
Why are you
Stop.
Oh my god.
Because Daddy's on the phone. Stop. Cut it out. Sorry. That's my son right there, y'all. But I digress. But in 2020, when my sister, when my I don't really call her my god sister, I call her my sister, because I do believe that we have siblings from another lifetime, but that's a topic for another lifetime. After my sister passed away, there was so when I want to just lay down and chill out, I listen to instrumental music. I listen to violins and stuff like that. This is one particular song from the Piano Guys. It's hard for me to listen to this day, even but on certain things from Bone Thugs and Harmony. And this is a song called from Master P. It Ain't My Fault. So after she passed away, it's still hard for me to even look at her picture. Because I'm like this. So I don't know who believes in this on this panel. So ever since I was in junior high, I have the ability to see I have visions, and so when I knew she was going to pass away so that day when she had told me that she couldn't breathe and stuff like that, I was about. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. I was about to break down. I should break down because for the fact that I got more PTSD than a little bit, because I've been having visions. I have visions of people dying every once in a while since junior high, and that thing kind of weighs on you. But when she passed away, it was literally like as if my whole world broke apart, because that was my sister. She after she passed away, it was like, whew. But yeah, like even to this day, I actually I'm actually writing a movie about her. Actually, I'm actually writing a movie that deals with her condition and stuff like that. She died of sickle cell anemia. But I digress. My mic is muted.
Hey, Grizz, real quick, I just want to say, please. And what you said was absolutely beautiful. And trust me, it's folks like myself and many others who do need to hear what you're saying. If you're about to cry, just get off the panel, go to the bathroom, get your shit together, and then come back. And then come back. Don't do it up here. Get off the panel, come back, Chris, okay?
I appreciate it.
Hold on. Of your respect, to preserve your respect as a man, because it's other people that see it a certain way. Right? That's what I'm talking about, my nigga. There we go.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Wait, hold on, everybody. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Now this is where normally I would agree to that, but this is where here I will slightly disagree, because this is the reason why we're opening up the panel, right, for the men so they could be able to express themselves. Now I get it. If you're the type of guy like, hey, we already know, everything that's said or is done on the live stream, trolls will weaponize it against us and try to make us look foolish. But I'm gonna say this though. If you cry, I don't give a shit. If you don't cry, I don't give a shit. I do. My thing, I know you give a shit.
Hold on, M3.
Wait, hold on.
You got the Black Weekend at Uncle Bernie's going on, and coincidentally, it happened while Grizz was talking.
Smitty, hold on. You wait until your turn, okay? I don't want you guys to misunderstand and say I don't care about your feelings. But what I'm telling you is that look, man. Hey, look, Grizz, look, if you want to cry, bro, you know what I mean? If you're in a close proximity, you want to hug or whatever, I'm there. I ain't gonna judge you or whatever. Although I get it, this is the internet. But look, you're on our platform, so you do what the fuck you want to do. That's the only thing I would do.
No. I just want to know, M3. Were you crying?
Say again?
Were you crying? I just want to know. If you did, you got the Weekend at Uncle Bernie's, dog. Did you start crying? Take your glasses off. Take them off real quick.
What? Hey, hold on. First of all, I got the glasses off, right? Because I got a ring. All right.
You do it.
He ain't taking them off.
Whatever respect.
It's like Randall was saying, though, you guys. It's all about time and place, right? It's all about time and place, because inevitably, 5 years from now, somebody's going to pull this up and be like, "Oh, did you see him crying?"
What's on the internet stays on forever.
Yeah, fact.
That's all right. I don't. You know what? At some point you have to be assured and validated of who you are as a person, and forget what the world says. Because if you are a people pleaser, I don't want to hang around you. You are not authentic. and I can't miss the day. So, Mr. Grizzlove, cry, my love, and let me hear it because
Stephanie, don't you set that man up, the Grizz. Don't you listen to Stephanie. Don't you set that man up, Steph.
Stephanie.
Come on, Steph.
The issue is women don't understand the dynamic.
And want you to
hold on.
Right.
Let's talking.
Women will sit up here and boo-hoo over their story and want you to be sympathetic towards them. So when you cry and you have your situation, I'm going to be there for you because women, they'll manipulate the heck out of you.
Damn. Okay, Steph, you right. But don't set him up, Steph. You facts.
Not only that, this is somebody that he said already. This is his sister. So if he want to express whatever he want with somebody that's his sister or his loved one or his family or his mom and his dad, like I said, you know what I mean? I'm not that. To me, it's just like telling him how to parent or something like that. It's like just crossing the line. Like I'm not gonna tell you how to mourn your loved ones. Those are your loved ones. You do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? That's up to you.
I'm with Mr. Best on this one. Hold on. Now this shit, I'm with Mr. Best on this one, right? Because look, man, again, you know, this is a different type of scenario where it's like, you know, even though like he's not talking about a kid, but he's talking about like something that's more that a loss pretty much. And so it's like, okay, at any given point, you might slip up and you might wind up start crying in the middle of a panel. But hey, if that happens, I'm not going to judge you for it. I'm just saying, personally, for me, you're not going to be judged by me.
Don't reach for the tissue. Reach for the X button. Reach for the X button, then tissue. In that order. X button, then tissue. Boom.
Yes,
we're good.
I'm not trying
You get a little crackle, little sniffle out. That's cool. But hit the X button, then tissue. Don't tissue, then X button. I should hear no blowing of the nose. There should be no blowing of the nose.
I'm not trying to judge anybody either, but the world will judge you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
we know the reality of it.
We can't set our kids up for our own perception, right? The world will judge you. That's the problem. I'm not going to judge you if you cry right now. You know, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me but the world is going to judge you. And I'm just saying that it's like when you write a paper, you write into your audience. You know what I mean? When you're out here in public, you're speaking to the audience. We're not really speaking to each other, and people don't realize that. That's the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
No,
this is
get the reality of it.
Not everybody does, Mr. M3. That's what I'm saying.
No, I get it. And look, and I'm personally aware of it. You know, that's why, like, look, objectively, I'm like, look, I'm sorry. I know this is like a subjective type of world. You know, objectively, for my own self, hey, you know what it is, though. I'll be like, look, go ahead and cry. I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna clown you about it. I understand your situation. Of course, the world, it's a different story. You never know who you're gonna encounter, and you never know how insensitive people are. Of course, if I was around and that happened or wherever, I'll be gladly put them in check for you. Just, you know, but at the same time, hey, it's all on you. I'm not even tripping on you.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem. Y'all don't even see what y'all just did.
No, you don't understand what I'm telling you.
M3, I want to hear what Evolution got to say. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
It's the problem.
And Lola, you're next.
People will tell you to do stuff that they are not going to do. Right? Now, y'all just told that man, cry. It's okay. Cry. Do it. You know what I'm saying? But then after that, because they told you take your glasses off. You ain't do that. We don't see you crying nowhere. Then you said, oh, well, you know, you could cry. It's all right. But people are going to judge you. And, you know,
I mean, I ain't going to jump. It's me telling me to jump.
But when I get back after this go off, I'm going to talk about you to my wife. You're going to be a punk. You know what I'm saying? That's technically what you just said to him.
What the fuck? You taking it way left.
Nah, that's what it is.
Let her get it out.
I see it, Missy. I see it.
Listen to the vagina, and not the vagina that's trying to be your sister, your friend. The vagina, you know what I'm saying, that's really telling the truth and tell the truth all the time. You get what I'm saying? That's the vagina you listen to. The one that keep it blunt and keep it real all the time. Because you're going to be up here crying. You're going to be the next clip. You're going to be the next meme. Yeah, and then you're gonna be trying to sell movies, and you're gonna be the punk that was crying on the knowledge and relationship show. Ain't nobody gonna watch them movies. You a sucker. Nah, it's not.
So like
okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me get to Lola real quick, and I will definitely get back to you. But
Okay.
before I close out, go ahead, Lola.
Okay, Grizz. Did you take something I said to be disrespectful? Like, are you do you practice martial arts?
I am so sorry. What you say?
Do you practice martial arts? One and two. Did you take something I said about my son to be disrespectful to you?
No. So I'm like this. So back in 20, I practiced martial arts when I was a kid, and also so the very last time I took martial arts was back in 2013, and also too, I actually love my teacher because we didn't just practice martial arts. We actually had to write papers, which gave me more respect for the arts, more love for the art, and also too, the reason why I had said I felt like the reason why I said it was the old ways because I remember writing a paper and I remember reading where, and I also saw documentaries where the old school ways is the kids will be taught at a young age to practice martial arts, and actually the older generation. I'm talking about like before we were born generation, they practiced the harder ways of martial arts, and they couldn't cry for nothing. The moment you cry, you have to do X, Y, and Z, and just so that we can harden your soul. And this is coming from a documentary that I've seen. It's coming from papers that I have written.
Okay, so so here's the thing, and I'm not trying to be antagonistic when I say this. What is the new school way or the better way to practice martial arts?
The fake way.
Well, huh?
It's the fake way.
The shake weight?
It's the fake way. I'm gonna tell you from personal experience. I'm trained 13 years martial arts, judo, karate.
Hold on.
Wait, Mike, hold on.
Let Lola finish. Let Lola finish,
Like,
and then
how many
go ahead.
people name up here is Grizz? This is one Grizz up here, right? Grizz, answer the question because you got a lot of people answering questions and shit for you tonight. Answer the question. What's the better way or the new school way to practice martial arts?
I'm not saying there's a better way. I'm just I was just making a statement to where it was basically what I was saying when your kid, because you had said that your child was not able to show any emotion, and I was like, I should have been more detailed and said, oh snap, oh okay, so they're actually practicing the old school way. But I would say, as far as doing martial arts, just keep repetition. When you have more time to yourself, when your child has more time to the self, keep reflecting, keep doing his katas over and over again, because I'm pretty sure that because I am pretty sure that they're going to be tested on their katas and to see how well they know their katas and how well they can execute their katas.
Okay. I mean, okay. I'm sorry. How many belts do you have in martial arts?
I have a blue belt.
You have a blue belt. In what study?
It's like beginning midway.
Shotokan karate.
I didn't hear you. Somebody else was talking. In what study?
Shotokan karate.
Okay, karate. Okay, I'll be honest with you. In Baltimore, I've been to several karate dojos, and none of them would agree with you on that, just on principle. But what I'm going to tell you is this: the way martial arts is taught to children is the same way it's taught to adults. When you're talking about martial arts, which is one of the most combat sports on the planet, there literally is no room for crying. There literally is no room for that. Right now, tonight, we're talking about safe spaces to cry as grown men. Now, you should automatically understand that as children, they automatically have safe spaces to cry when they're at home. Right. But men, grown men, typically right now are saying they don't have a safe space. So when I mention about the fact that my child is being taught that there's a time and place to have emotions, because no martial arts teacher is teaching their students that you cannot cry. They are teaching them choose to where you cry and where you don't cry, which is to a degree the topic tonight that my sister over here is trying to convey, that it's okay for you to cry, but it's if you choose to cry where you shouldn't really be crying, now we got a problem. That's what that's about. But truth be told, and I'll disagree with you, there is no such thing as old school way of martial arts if you understand the definition of martial arts. I'll just disagree with you on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me get to
is it maybe a difference between crying and emotion?
Hold on, Stephanie, go. You can get right in after Stephanie. Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, Uncle Fatty, I was hearing what you're saying about the emotion. I mean, there was a Instagram post about a boy who was hitting a board and he couldn't break it. So he already has societal pressures within that class that he already is failing because he couldn't break it. So the young man started crying, and the teacher allowed him to do that because he knew how he was feeling in that moment, as he was a failure in front of all his peers. But he allowed him to experience that because he really, he had a hard time breaking the board, but he still didn't dismiss and discount the boy's feelings, in that he allowed him to feel those feelings. He encouraged him, and then he empowered him to still press on. So it's not like, oh, this traditional way. No, I admire that teacher, because a lot of people will say, boy, shut up and get your, and they will dismiss. In that moment.
Has ever done that. No martial arts teacher has ever done that, ma'am. Honestly, if you've never been in a martial arts dojo, if you've never been in a martial arts dojo and you've never been in a professional fight, you really can't speak right. When it comes to
she's not finished talking.
One mic, because none of y'all being heard. Finish, Stephanie. Lola, you can rebuttal. Finish, Stephanie.
But in that moment, I really appreciated how he did that. Now, if we always want to, protect this image of this toughness, but actually it does take a lot of emotional discipline and emotional focus to build yourself up. It takes a lot of that. And sometimes it's frustrating, sometimes overwhelming. It really is. Sometimes people break. Sometimes people's minds break. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's either for the good or it's for the bad. Look at the boxer where the mom devoided him of contact, devoided him of emotion. And he just won that fight, right? But she made him something so evil on the inside because she deprived him. So it's like, it's crazy. You can use emotion, you can use certain manipulated to make a person be a certain way. But I just say I appreciated how that instructor allowed the boy to feel his feelings, even though he wasn't able to break that board, but how he came back and reinforced him, empowered him, and just moved forward. Because whether or not some of the kids might have been feeling that way in the class too. You know what I'm saying? We don't ever know. We like to say and assume things and project things, but sometimes other people are feeling the same way too. Like you said, that circle where guys can get around and finally talk. Then like, man, I didn't know that. I felt the same way. So that's all I have to say.
One thing I don't...
Go ahead, Lola. You got it.
Hey, we have Uncle Fatty, we have Marcus, and then we have Milty and Mike.
Yeah, one thing I don't appreciate, right, is when women respect men when it comes to not opening their mouths about what they don't know, for real. It's like it comes off as really fake when you can do that in one instance, but you can't do it in any other instance. What I said to Grizz is that there is no such thing as old school martial arts. If you understand what martial arts is, it's just martial arts, period. Like, that's what that means. And only people who do martial arts understand what I'm really talking about, which is why I asked him, what discipline are you in? How many belts do you have? Which has a lot to do with what you know about martial arts. And the first rule of martial arts is respecting the art. That's the first rule. Yeah, so at the end of the day, at the end of the day, when we talk about children and how children are taught in martial arts, okay, all instructors understand that children have to get over their childhood before they can really be a martial artist. They all know that. This comes without any conversation when it comes to martial arts. But the art itself is very aggressive. And what I said stands, that there is no room for crying in martial arts. Children can get away with it because they're children and they're learning. This is what we already said about an hour or two ago. But when it comes to what I'm saying here, it's like, let's not play the 50 because men are around and try to cater to men like, oh, you know, we're just teaching them how to do this and manage their emotions. At the end of the day, the teacher in martial arts is not about teaching you to manage your emotions, it's teaching you discipline. Now, those emotions you have, that's something that you learn through life, not necessarily martial arts in a sense. So one thing I'm not going to do is front for these men. Crying is good, but crying at the wrong time is bad. Just like me being ultra feminine is good. But if I'm ultra feminine where I need to actually step up that masculinity in me and actually save a life, now we got a problem. So let's not front for men just because we women and we on this panel and the conversation is about. Let's not
just to let you know if you're directing that. Thank you.
I'm directing it directly at you.
And I'm directing them back at you that I'm not fronting. Thank you.
Okay, so now we have that. So now we have that clear. No one's fronting. I do have a quick question, Fatty. I'm gonna get to you, Marcus, and then Mike, Lola, right? So
Here goes another rabbit hole.
So what martial arts, like, but they do train you to be disciplined, right?
No. And this is the thing. If like I told Grizz, if you're not a martial artist, you really can't have this conversation, which is why I asked him first before I said anything. Do you study martial arts? Right? Like seriously, do you study it? Because I can't sit and talk to him about something he doesn't know about. So at the end of the day, right, when it comes to the study of martial arts, you have to understand that martial arts is about purging you first of inner issues so that when you meet the real threat, you will be ready. And in that right there, you're getting to a point where there is no room for you to cry or even feel the need to cry. When it comes to specifically, for instance, with children in performances, right? When you're doing a performance, right? It's like the culture of martial arts is that you press on and you go in private and you cry. You do not cry in the middle of a performance. That is an embarrassment to your dojo. It's an embarrassment to your sensei. It's an embarrassment to the art in general. That is the culture. So it's like, that's not to say, well, you know, you're not a good parent because your child broke down crying. That's not what that means. But when it comes to martial arts, which is a conversation that happened in the back chat, okay, that's where this started at. This is what it really is. So when he said what he said to me about what I was saying about my son, that's why I clarified with Grizz. Like, did you take what I said personally about your son and how you raising your son? Because telling me that martial arts that we've been learning is old school, as if for some reason we need to catch up. I took that personally, like, what are you talking about? So he's saying that he just feels like it's just an old way, and it's like, okay, cool, but martial arts is an old art, like it's thousands of years old. So if he feels like it's an old school way of doing things, okay, technically I guess it is, but I took that statement as a little offensively, because I need to understand, like, is it another way to
emotional response?
There's different. So I'm gonna play this. So real quick. So I know for a fact that there are thousands of.
Let me know when I can go in 3.
Nah, I was about to say you next, Marcus, because I don't know if I heard you yet. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. We gotta get to Fatty, and then we can get to Marcus.
Okay. Okay. My bad.
Yeah.
I might.
Chris, after you, we're gonna jump to Fatty. Okay. So go ahead and make it.
So real quick, capoeira. I also took capoeira, which actually which also where the slave. Okay, so slaves were not allowed to practice martial arts. So in order for them to keep doing martial arts, they had to disguise it as a dance. And so the slave owners think, oh wow, they're dancing, which they're actually doing a different type of martial arts, and I actually took capoeira, and that will literally capoeira will leave you actually. Capoeira will most likely have you on a diet, literally, and plus I practice that on the floor, outside of the floor, and also too, I know for a fact that martial arts will help you to focus. It helps you to focus. It helps you to make sure to develop a different type of mindset. It's also different types of exercises, and also too, depending on the art that you're taking, not Wing Chun, not Wing Chun Kung Fu. It I cannot, I cannot. It doesn't come to my mind at the moment. But there's a different type of martial arts can also be considered as meditation as well, because it helps it helps your mind to flow. It helps you to focus and discipline your mind, body, and spirit. But I digress. My mic is muted.
Okay, go ahead, Uncle Fad. We'll get back to that later. But go ahead.
I might, I might even just propose a question to Rant, because I've taken a couple of classes with my son and in his martial arts training, and I think society will teach us when, and will teach boys in general how and when and why, because of those judgments and because of those predetermined expectations. But I would ask Rant too, from more of a traditional side, that isn't martial arts about learning how to deal with our emotions and not necessarily just how not to cry? That adults and kids are trained in different ways and taught in different ways because of
Correct.
emotions.
It's about focusing on the objective and to ignore what you're feeling, to ignore what's happening, so that you can succeed in your objective, which is to defend your life.
Right.
Because in that moment, it's not important to feel your emotions. It's important to defend your life first. And that's most people snap into that automatically in a real fight. Your adrenaline takes over and you're going to start ignoring emotions. Your IQ drops, right? And you're going to go into a fight or a flight mode. You know what I mean? This is a natural thing that's going to happen. But also, martial arts is about controlling that process to be most effective in the fight while you're flooding your body with adrenaline. It's to channel that adrenaline into a calm state of mind where you can make decisions properly in that fight, and so you don't just react wildly. You ever seen a guy swinging wild punches?
Yes, and they ultimately mess up.
That's the effects of a cortisol dump and an adrenaline overload in a person who is not possessing the knowledge of what to actually do in the situation.
And
so they
the
panic.
discipline.
They just panic.
That's why they need discipline, and that's why the whole martial art is repetitive training.
I could address more of these things if you want to go to Marcus real quick.
Yeah, because Marcus, he does MMA too, so I think you have an MMA background, right?
I didn't want to skip Marcus though. I did want to address some of these things, but you could bring Marcus up real quick.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Good. No, you shout out to everybody in the panel. Because I know this is one of my realms, so I grew up in combat MMA and MMA sports, whether it was boxing, kickboxing, Greco-Roman wrestling, and a bit of judo, and then what I learned in the Marine Corps with the MCMAP, which is Marine Corps Martial Arts Program. So I got up to be a brown belt, which is a belt below black belt, and then I got out. So I started about 7 years, and I saw tournaments of different fighting styles, martial arts, mixed martial arts. I've even placed at some of these tournaments myself, whether it was first place, second place, or third place, whether it's gold, silver, bronze. And I know that some of the things that you learn is clearly the discipline. Now there is old school style, senseis, instructors, all that. And just like this new generation is a little bit different. It's all affirmative action, all, pronouns and bullshit like that. So some of these things are somehow, in these fucking programs now, in these dojos and stuff. But I do know that, from a mental aspect, mental discipline, and also physical discipline, clearly you got to think before you act. And it's like a chess game when it comes to martial arts. Because you're also studying your opponent also as well. You're studying their body movements as well. And you're making sure how much you can push yourself as well, what you can attain in knowledge. So it's just anything that I've learned, you know, it's helped me so much in life. It's helped me to actually also help my discipline for my emotions and stuff like that. And also, it's, you know, you got to be careful because once you become licensed, your hands, your body is legally a weapon, and you can fall under the law of the penalty of that kind of stuff. So I hear a bunch of people saying about emotions. Well, the jail systems and prison systems are full of emotional men who made irrational decisions. There's even people who were licensed fighters and ended up in prison because they chose to be erratic and not think with their, you know, brain and their logic and think before you act, which results in where they're at right now.
Right.
So, and there's even people that aren't even here anymore because they decided to go down that path. So, you know, I'm hearing what everybody's saying, but some of it, in my opinion, y'all are peeling the layers, but then there's more to it as well. Some are saying that, no, this person's wrong or you're wrong. I think from my experience, both sides have been saying very good points. I agree with what Michelle Shum was saying, but I also agree with other people were saying in the panel as well, because I've seen them both on both sides. So that's just being fair and honest. So yeah.
I appreciate it, Marcus. You know, Marcus, like, was the original Lil Mac from Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but you know, I digress.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Stan says judo helped me manage a lot of anger. I didn't know I had best 5 years of my life. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. Any activity, in my opinion, that you do, you could just take it as like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on one thing, but then not realizing that it could help you out in many ways. I still think martial arts or any type of combat training does build up some type of discipline and character, because you have to make that commitment to pretty much get in shape, to pretty much learn the art, the skill of it, and know how to use it properly to your advantage. And in some cases, you still may have to restrain yourself unless you have to use your weapons, which is your hands, as necessary. But that's just my opinion to it, you know. Go ahead, Mike. I know you want to say more.
I mean, I was just gonna try to clarify the old way and what he was referring to as the new way. Essentially, you know, when karate is being taught in the United States, after a while, you know, with lawsuits and all kinds of things and people trying to run businesses, you'll see what's called basically commercial karate. Okay. And so they're trying to teach karate, but they can't really do what they used to do back in the old day because it's, you know, not necessarily legal anymore.
Is that like the Cobra
and
Kai
they can't,
versus Mr. Miyagi?
You know, I mean, that's basically what it is. It's commercial karate that's for money, and they're not really worried about teaching people how to defend their life. Now, I did take old school karate, and when I tried to get into jujitsu, right, I learned that, you know, it's not necessarily designed for real fighting, some of these styles, and a lot of these styles are designed to work in the cage fighting scenario of MMA, but when you get to the street, you don't really want to be doing all of these things. You know, there's a lot of things about like jujitsu where honestly, you know, it works great if you're against one guy in a cage, but if you're against two guys and you're trying to get a guy in a headlock and his buddy is punching you in the face, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So you don't even want to grapple. So when I trained martial arts, I was trained to not sit there and fight people, but I was trained to end the fight and get out of there alive. I was trained to do a lot of damage really quick. Do a lot of damage really quick, disable the opponent, make sure they're no longer a combatant, and leave. I was never really trained to sit there and go, you know, 12 rounds in a cage. This is a different fighting method. And so there's martial arts that teach that. There's martial arts. The old way is self-defense. That's the reality. You know what I'm saying? And so when you teach people commercial karate, what you'll notice is it's dangerous because people go out there with the idea that they know how to defend themselves, but they've never been hit. My karate did full contact sparring with gloves, full contact. These people are not doing full contact anymore. You know what I'm saying? And we even did full contact with no gloves, you know, on Thursday nights for the special students who didn't care. You know what I mean? But that was men. You know what I mean? And we did stuff like we'd hit bags until we bled. We'd hit makiwaras until our bones would break and fuse back together. We built our bodies to do damage. Our bodies were made into weapons, not just by knowledge, but by the damage and the repairing and applying Tiger Balm and wrapping it, allowing it to heal. This builds a different part of you where you understand that you are more than this physical body and you can overcome your biology. Martial arts is
Could
deep.
you imagine some Karen picking up her kid with bloody hands and having the whole place shut down because it's child abuse?
Right. I've got into fights with people who think they know martial arts, and I'm not trying to brag that those fights are over very quickly. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't go the way they think it's going to go, where there's, you know, we take a break in between and there's rules. That's all out the window. You know what I mean?
Shit, I mean, shit. Anything goes, man.
I don't even fight anymore. I'm 33. I'm a grown ass man. I carry a gun. We ain't even playing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be real. I've moved past wanting to do martial arts. You know what I'm saying? Now we do John Wick. You know what I
mean? Always carry a pencil, brother. Always carry a pencil.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, look, guys.
That's a long pencil, though. Usually it's a short one that you got to carry. You know what I mean?
Right. So guys, real quick. Hey, this was definitely a fun live stream. I definitely. Oh, let me mute your Grizz because oh, never mind, he's muted. Yeah, this was definitely a fun live stream. As always, you know what it is, man. Like, you know, you're gonna get some disagreements. You're gonna get some good laughs or whatever. But that's what it is, man. You know, this is YouTube shit. So, but salutes to everybody for tuning in. I think we have like 7 guys and like 6 women up here in total. So I appreciate your participation. Even Stan, the man himself, says thank you guys for coming on.
You're welcome for me to choose you. Blessed with my grace.
Thank you, Lil Mac, for blessing us, you know. So
shut up.
But yeah. But anyways, right, you know, thank you guys so much, right? Evolution, I appreciate you for coming up there and, you know, giving us your perspective. And like I said, man, everybody's like, you know, have a different opinion. And that's what I like to hear, right? So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We are definitely out. So feel free to drop in a nice, lovely Cash App or a super chat on your way out. And we are leaving. Peace. Hey, wait, hold on for a second. Oh, hold on for 1 second. I see Mr. Best up here. Mr. Best, you have anything you want to say?
Oh, in the show, yeah.
Oh, okay, for sure. All right, y'all. Peace.
Knowledge and relationships.